ascent instead.
And so, the first battlefield ascent. NRG starting on defense, Navi on attack. A little bit of defaulting coming in from the side of Navi. 4 players outside of B main, 1 player Sugetsu holding on A main. Oftentimes you see them try to peek out for CNET to get a peek early on B, even on pistols where you know that the players have studied your other side. Just making sure there's no pushes going on the map right now for Navi, and there isn't. But look at Crashies posted up with Artis inside of middle. Artis has that Sheriff in a spot where he has the dash too and really can bait Crashies, who's playing anti-flash. If Navi choose to go up in that direction, that could be devastating. But I feel like with the entire movement that they've had so far, it's really been making sure they're not pushing in mid and then reapproaching this B side. Sugetsu's even joined them.
I mean, they even have trips out on A main, so you're absolutely right. Making sure there's no pressure coming in where they don't expect. And now they can turn their eyes towards B.
So slow. Camera out to initiate.
And it hasn't been cleared. They have heard it, but they don't know it yet. You see the Haunt already hitting the site, and CNET is the first to enter. He's also the first to draw blood. Traded right back, and they're all lit up. How many targets can Crashies drop? None. Numbers heavily in favor of the attacking side. As they've now gotten the spike out, they should be able to secure the plant.
It was so labored though to get through B main there. They didn't want to challenge that dart. Still with the advantage for Navi though.
See the Prowler making sure there's nobody pushing upstairs. As the spike ticks. Looks like Finesse is going to try to make a play, but it seems like they're ready for it. They're waiting off of the flash. The timing on that was beautiful. How much more can they find?
Oh, and that was important for them to hold on, for that lane crossfire to go through. They had to fall off.
They have burned some time here, though. Don't really have the luxury of that. But Shout getting 2 massive kills. It's gotten significantly more difficult.
And the reposition's perfect.
Just Finesse now. And he's surrounded. Yeah, he was spotted. A 3K for Xiao.
That's crazy. Xiao throws out the Haunt and runs upstairs to get the spam on him, too. It's a really, really good round from here. Getting the first 2 as well. While they fell off of lane, holding this position right here. Nasty stuff. This is the thing with Navi, even regionally, while maybe every single player wasn't popping off, they have star potential in everyone. Xiao is 100% a top 5 initiator, top 3 initiator, potentially even up there in the conversation for best in the world.
That's just such a complete roster. There really doesn't feel like there are weaknesses that you can hit at or poke at. I mean, maybe if you want to get exceptionally critical, you talk about the fact that they seem to experiment a bit more than others do, but I mean, their pedigree of success is evident.
And so this is anti-eco against NRG right now.
Yeah, if you are just joining us, we did lose the HUD for just a moment, but it is a 1-0 lead.
Pistol went to Navi. And looking right now, you can see Classic for Victor as well. They do have a semi-stack coming in this direction. 4 players as Crashy rotate over too.
And Sam is tucked on the other side of the cage. First kill going over in favor of the shorty. The Haunt giving his position away though. And now Victor swinging out, trying to make a play happen, and he cannot. Now it's all left down to Artis to rotate back towards the site where he's going to be greeted by 4 members of Navi.
Spike planted.
He's positioned to do his best if they ended up hitting that B site, but mostly just stay alive as long as possible. And now that it's flipped over, a very, very good anti-eco from Navi.
Really, yeah.
And you have to think as well, you didn't get a chance to see the full loadout, of course, but you know they're known for their buys. They're known for going for multiple Vandals, Phantoms in this situation to try to carry over a massive advantage in this bonus. So the fact that that stays clean, that's kind of a win condition when you're facing up against Navi. Because right now they've made this even, in a sense.
Yep. I am being told we should have the HUD back very shortly. So for now, we're just going to go on this ride together.
Oh!
And Artis is taking a ride into the next round already.
Just a dry swing. And that's important for CNET to get going right there before Artis gets the op up. Not having it in this 3rd round.
And that's, I mean, that's a matchup and a clash we're going to keep a close eye on because, again, there's so much history here. But the first duel going over. Ooh! Great response out from NRG, though.
And the flash as well to delay. It gives so much time for Sam and Victor to fall off of that angle and set up for a 2nd hit.
Yeah, that paranoia was very nice.
So they've switched and taken advantage here. Especially Crashes' drone is clearing out Cat right now.
Did it spot anyone? They were just on the other side of the peak. Perhaps some misinformation depending on the timing.
Right now, Navi waiting as well for Xiao's cycle of his haunt to come back up as well. Maybe could be used in conjunction with CNED and a smoke of some kind. Not now that you've got that knife hitting CNED.
And he gets the kill.
That's not supposed to happen there. That spot where he's jump spotting from, he should be able to tuck very fast. There's the haunt and the smoke that I was talking about, not pinging anybody.
Finesse is pacey on this one, but by the time he shows up, the round may be over. Just Crashies on A right now as the spike gets planted.
Spike planted.
Can he find the timing? Can he find the space? Position already betrayed. He swings around, gets the first, and that's well done. He's done the damage he was looking for, and now Crashies, you're right, has joined the fray, a prowler in his face.
And that actually spots both there because he shot his weapon.
Time is short, the swing up from Crashies is there, and Crashies gets both!
Of course it's Crashies.
Who else?
To have a big start here for the team, to get that first round on the board. Of course it is. Instrumental piece. And again, full flash there. Maybe they peaked slightly early, but Sam and Victor with the re-clear on A main. Navi was expecting that.
I mean,
it still works out for NRG.
They were out wide, too. I mean, they were standing in the middle of A long.
You have to think as well, CNED in this final moment, facing up against the double doors push, was uncertain whether there was still a player heaven. Not quite sure if they were able to put 2 and 2 together about the two weapons shooting at the same time. I have a flash over from Victor to start to pressure, but no, just looking. So much actually called out from Victor right there because of this smoke that just got put out. It's a lot earlier than anything Navi's done so far. They've been so slow every round.
It really just seemed like Navi wanted to explore slowly. As you were saying, explore the middle of the map and then reset. They poked and they prodded, and now they proceed towards A. Victor's already gotten a good bit of info. The paranoia, flash to counter.
Oh, he can't nade him off now.
Artist is in a really good spot. Yeah, the spam is there for the second. Third in the cloudburst, not found. But numbers heavily in favor of NRG. What can Sugetsu do to equalize? Nothing found. Artist with 3.
Looking for CNED. He's low on the site.
This would be such a difficult round for Navi to equalize.
And they do knife CNED's position too, so he can't use the uncertainty element anymore. Xiao's got to make a play. He has recovered the spike though.
He is known for making plays. An opportunity to do it here early in this best of 3. Early on Ascent.
They're stuck though. They're stuck on the site.
What may feel like a stalemate still just is so heavily in favor of NRG, given the numbers advantage, given the fact that time is short, but they still managed to get the spike down.
1 enemy remaining.
Just like that, the numbers dwindle. Xiao spotted too because of the dart. He's cleaned up. Artist gets 4 in another round for NRG.
Beautiful hold as well from the NRG players, giving up nothing there when the situation is in their favor. One of the things they're very good at is showing discipline in those moments.
They did.
That knife against CNED, and then as well the dart coming in from Crashies right here, picking up the extra orb from Sam. Those types of things are crucial in marquee matchups like this. Navi's still going to be able to invest a lot in this round. Light armors, they're forcing up. Knife going to be popped from CNED. Victor doesn't quite yet have that no command, so nothing to cancel other than the knife. And they look like they want to go for that mid control, the same sort of thing they did in the last round that Victor called out they were doing. The alarm bot is there for Navi to break. But with that smoke, they're not interested actually in trying to fight through. They don't quite have the util to do so.
This is interesting here. They've put Artis up so aggressively towards B. He's got the dash procced. There is a member close by. That's Xiao on the other side of the wall.
I know exactly where you are.
Artis attempts fade and then gets away.
One tap from that Vandal. And challenges CNED again. Head-to-head battle. Going in favor of CNED so far.
This Blade's finding value. But what did Navi do off of this?
Oh,
Sugetsu has
out.
slipped the net. You're absolutely right. And you got Zipan close by, but Victor is not going to be spotted. He's in a position to make a play here. Does he go checked? No, he does not.
Should be tradable, but they fell off of Cat in the meantime.
A second chance at life here as they swing out and apply pressure out onto Xiao. They decide to overwhelm him and bully him.
You saw both players from NRG jumping to try to get that cross going.
Planted.
Little miscommunication, but it still works out.
Now door cleared. And an opportunity for NRG to attempt this retake with a little bit of misdirection.
Nobody breaks the dart.
Trampoline out, they want to go ahead and see it done. It's just Zipan down in hell. Looking for a target, looking for an opening, and gosh, I thought he was going to land that shot. But Victor's moonwalk gets him the round.
This dude's just holding the D key.
You fail.
Classic to set up this duo, Crashies and Victor. Combined in the 2v2 so well, and even earlier in that situation as well. Synchronized. And that's huge. NRG stringing together the rounds they're going to need on defense. Remember, this map heavily defensive-sided, regardless of the comps you run.
And also regardless of regions. In Pacific, that's not the case, but in Americas and in the EMEA, it does heavily lean that way.
Shark attack potential. You have Artis with the op right now. It looks like they want to set up Finesse and Victor down bottom mid. And that's an absolutely brilliant shot from Artis. Taking down Zipan is such an important tool, especially dependent on the ult cycle that starts to come up at this round 6. They've left Finesse. They've inserted him down in the bottom of mid. Especially if they start to see Victor's position. Artis, again, maybe on that B main, maybe fires off a shot. If they want to pivot late in the round, Finesse is going to be absolutely brutal.
And he's been known for ratty positions, ratty kills. Timing's great, and there's another.
And that Xiao Prowler is literally intended to stop a flank right there, but the timing's slightly off. And the redrone to get him even more space. And again, they'll take the A side, but NRG has retook 3 times already.
And it seems like they're well poised to do it again. A 5v3 here. They have 4 ults to play with.
2 and 3 though.
It's Artis who got that one. It looked funny for a moment. It's seen it. It's overwhelmed. He's surrounded. He's got bullets from all sides. And there's just nothing they can really do to convert.
Good attempt from Navi to back up and try to play together there. But once again, NRG doing the exact same thing. And they're definitely in control here on this defensive side. These rounds need to keep coming though. For Navi, this might be the first time we get to see them full save. Because it's been multiple buys in a row where the light armor is gaining them extra. And it's really nice to see both of the Jets right now in that duel that we've been looking forward to all year long. Stepping up right now, both at the top of the leaderboard, identical scorelines.
Just a Sheriff for seeing it now, while Artis has much bigger weaponry in the op. And it seems like he's going to get tested early.
And the tools just get even better here. On the side of NRG in terms of those ults. And in terms of the playstyle that they're going for so far, really heavily posturing over towards B and retaking every round on A really nicely, but allowing that site take to come through.
Now, Navi have explored mid a couple of times, but then they reset. They don't necessarily commit to this area of the map, and it seems like this time they want to.
This turret in B main allows Artis to be very happy to take this angle.
Dash Brock, position given away, and what a shot from CNED.
Is that 3-0 right now for the man? Finesse is here to cover it, so it's not the end of the world. Ooh. But this TP from Angel's in their spawn. You'd never expect that.
He was behind them.
You expect that to go backside every time.
Crashies with 2 massive kills to try to normalize things for now.
Do they both get guns? Yes, they both pick them up. Only a Guardian from Xiao, actually. But they both get in sight, too. They can play together.
That might be enough. It's going to be Xiao who's going to have to do it on his own. Now switching over to the Phantom, a 1v2. The threat of the spike, and now the reposition from the Initiator. 1 down.
30 seconds left.
And a bullet fired on the second. Should have a good idea of where Sam is.
Time to play. Plenty of it.
Remember Sam walking amongst giants, in a position to make a name for himself on the international stage now. What a massive clutch this would be, but can he deliver? Xiao patiently biding his time, and Sam reads him just right.
The Phantom was sticking out there from Xiao. Sam with the jump out, spots it immediately and just spams him down. It's ridiculously well played from Sam.
I mean, I'd love to see that from his POV because there couldn't have been much of the barrel.
That box, pesky. We'll have to see. Angel with his TP obviously causing cracks. Remember, that was a light buy from Navi, so despite the outcome, the fact that it got that far is ridiculous. Here it is. Barrel shot. That's a lot. A lot. Xiao playing in that same position you saw him on pistol get value.
Yeah.
So you saw that's a comfortable one for him. Maybe even reading into that is some.
Early timeout called here. Off of 5 rounds in a row from NRG. The pistol goes towards Navi, the second round does too, but ever since then.
There's been close situations, but yeah, NRG in full control. It seems like Navi is a little hesitant to actually fully commit to some of those ideas. You saw that was the first round they pushed past that alarm bot. Every other time they've been going through catwalk. And even then they're freezing before taking the rest of the A site. That gives him so much for Finesse to start mid-rounding, for him to get those flanks off, and also to come up with a clear picture of where the Navi players are positioned.
Stoic look on the faces of the Navi members. It's pretty sweet.
Angel fans in the crowd.
Yeah, love to see that.
It's so nice that this audience supporting every single team.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a lot yesterday, but this crowd really is goated. They're so good.
Showing up on Monday here too.
Yep, at noon. Either way, back into the action. 8th round on the cards. And plenty of ults for the defensive side to work with. Remember, they've won 5 rounds in a row here, and the potential opportunity to
have
get
the
more.
dart.
You're right, there's a setup for Sharks.
Flash to obscure.
There it is.
Odin
There's the dart,
spam.
there's the flash. There's the spam, and there's the kill.
And he also has the possibility of ulting even further, especially how Navi's not taking map control very early. He gets a tag here, he should be comfortable going for this.
And he is. First tag, second tag, and I believe he
saw
saw another.
it.
Yep, damage dealt. I mean, crashies. Yes, there was help off of the additional utility, but what a round.
It's crazy too that Navi didn't react to what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a play that's been run by NRG and everybody else on this map for so long. Not quite something that you see often in EMEA, but Navi should definitely be ready for that. And you can see Angel trapped in that position. And also the fact that NRG has been giving them a lot of room to take that mid control early, it definitely is something that they talked about in the timeout that is working, that we're getting that space, we're gonna continue taking it. And they've swapped everything.
A wild call on the other side of the break.
And even Crashy's following up. They swapped the position, put the alarm bot close. He could have used his ult off of that if he didn't use it earlier, but now as well in mid to spam.
Excellent call from Zipon.
They always recover these situations somehow.
Oh boy, you went the wrong way. Sam cleans him up.
A blunder from the Turkish Jet. The original dynamic Jet player. Not quite working out, but the flash does clear. Have been instantly traded back from Artist, though.
And now Zipon the last to stand, and he's so weak.
Shorty's coming at him.
1v4. Brutal scenes there as NRG are going to get another.
They're looking really good here.
Yep.
And the things that they're trying are working. I mean, to get 2 kills off of that initial setup is just absurd in my mind. Not something that Navi should be falling to easily. But it also is something that is tough to expect. Out of the timeout, though. And Angel frustrated. Can't quite find the read.
No, not at all. It's at 6 rounds now for the Americas representatives. They still have the blades, they still have the lockdown, and they still have Sam's ult.
Deep alarm bot again. Right into that smoke. And this is because now you have the players who want to re-clear A, so they want advance notice of that cat push, and also Artist peeking over towards B.
Yeah, he's been here before, yeah. CNET was ready for it this time. Yeah, the drone also helped give a cue.
Oh, Odin spam.
Nothing found from Crashy's side.
Somehow, some way, CNET is getting the best of Artis in almost all of their engagements, but Artis is doing still such a great job in this map. While the head-to-head not going to favor him potentially at the end of this half. The scoreline between the two teams definitely will, and he's a big factor in it.
Crashies is holding a very precarious angle here, and he's by himself. He has no exit. Not able to land any shots. In the face of the Prowler, he falls.
Great swing, but they did get a knife suppress on the rest of the Navi players, so it does slow them down.
All committed from Sam. They're all B. They're all anchored together, huddling in on the side, trying to hold the line. It's a 1-for-1 as Finesse manages to get 2 massive kills. But Navi finally break the trend.
And they do it pretty good, actually. 3 players alive for them, so especially with the way that their bank is hurting over and over. And they've been keeping NRG fairly respectably low.
Yeah, all of these rounds, for as much as it's a big lead for NRG, the rounds have been very close.
Yeah. And again, early on in the half, I was mentioning, they need to keep coming from NRG. This streak of 6 is fantastic, yes, but there's still 3 more rounds in the half.
Right.
And that could flip back to 6-6, in which case it would be a terrible outcome for the Americans.
Face your fear!
Early Nightfall used. CNET wanting to go aggressive. Finesse right above you. Done.
And that's an upgrade for a weapon there, too. That right click so important to be using as a util.
Artist pulled out the blades of his own as Crashies falls. Looking for some high ground, looking for a kill. It's actually Victor who cleans it up. Back to the reliable op now. Zipan commits to the spike plant. Victor going aggressive, trying to apply some pressure, but Chow holds the line. Does Artist go here? A 1v2? No, he can't handle it.
I mean, I would have loved to see Artis commit fully to that, for sure. And Zipan ends the idea early. That's 2 in a row now from Navi. Already starting to enter uncomfortable territory despite this fantastic start from NRG. And this is the same exact, I mean, in their very last game in the grand finals against Loud, they started on descent and they had a great start. But rounds like this start to slip. You start to get a little bit of a streak on this defensive side, and all of a sudden,
A 6-6 half on defense ascent is not a success.
Yeah.
I'd argue 7-5 isn't a success either.
And look at this, actually. NRG does not have the money for an op. Artis has been trying to get back on top of it. But now it's CNED with it. Attack side op. Definitely could be something, especially given, you know how people, especially the KOs, are jiggle peeking.
Yeah.
If CNED gets on a line like that, could take out Victor specifically. And Artis has been loving to peek mid so many times. Ooh. He updrafted so you could hover over towards this box. Get the upper peak.
CNET has had Artist's number.
I mean, that's disgusting.
What a beautiful setup.
And the thing, too, is if you updraft the... Playing with fire here, NRG. He doesn't move from the spot until later.
Wow. I mean, what confidence.
Again, that updraft, if you do it at the start of the round, you can potentially hear it. So sometimes you just updraft and glide as the round starts. But either way, that's a dynamic way to do it. Definitely messes with the timings.
Absolutely.
Bomb grenade out.
Finesse looks like he's going to be the first to contact here on B. You hear the ult used out.
Victor.
And he's close by. Stomps in a big spot. Only able to get 1. No follow-up on that.
That was definitely a moment he could have gone for more, and Sam is explosive as the controller player. When he finds himself in positions like that, you definitely could put him good for 2. They'll get the ult up, but the lockdown is going to prevent them from going B. Doesn't matter, though. Angel's been interested in going A this entire time.
They held a little bit, too, before they committed the ult, splitting their numbers, and then
Last player standing.
committing out onto that. Now Crashy's left alone in a
That's the spike.
1v4.
There's nobody near right now.
19 seconds left. It's got to be Pacey. But he takes the fight. And all of a sudden, the fears, the concerns of a 6-6 half for a region are starting to realize.
It's crazy that they've pulled this back. And again, because of... This shot is ridiculous, by the way. And I love the, you know, ingenuity, whatever you want to call it, for CNET there, but also the fact that he hits that shot is still ridiculous, man. That's not easy. That flick is so wide.
Remember, it was just a few moments ago, we saw both of them on our screen, and they were stoic. Finally smiles.
It's crazy how much this matchup is delivering so far.
And it's just the first half.
No big ults, only Angel, but he's been finding some creative ways to use this season.
I mean, just remember, it was a couple of rounds ago that he ulted behind Finesse.
It's tough on LAN, especially with an audience like this, to hear that cue. Not just the ult voice line, but where that ult is being placed.
Yeah. No, that's the same smoke.
Same ult. And that's great because you actually are preventing people, especially Crashes. His lineup there is inside of that smoke. So he's looking to actually cancel Angel while the rest of the players just spam him. He shows up on the radar because of that.
Second smoke used, and they cannot gain any traction. They cannot gain any space.
Spike planted.
Forcing NRG to hold for just a moment before they attempt their retake.
It's crazy that the answer here for Navi this half has been to just hit B.
Victor has a knife. But there is a Sugetsu on the prowl.
Hasn't happened this entire half, this lurk.
His timing may be everything here. He has no idea. Never had a shot. The second shot delivered from Sugetsu. 4 on the round and 6 for Navi. A prime gaming flawless.
Switching sides.
That's what you want to see if you're a Navi fan. They close it out as a 6-6. That was the biggest fear here from both the NRG players and the NRG fans. This half has slipped, and again, a dire half from what looked so good.
But to go back to the conversation we were having earlier, everyone on this roster. Thank you, Golden Boy. An ominous stat that we saw right before getting back into the action, 63.8 defensive win rate for Navi. That's more than average ball.
Yeah, on the other side too, NRG, 36% on attack. Crucial numbers to keep in mind, and why I kept harping on the fact that this half from NRG, while it seemed so good, has fallen so far.
It needed to continue, and it did not. And now Navi find themselves with a golden opportunity.
Fast B. They invest their flash. They invest a lot in that early hit. Is there a second stage? Because I don't see a second flash. Yes, Victor's got one. But you can see, Sha was already ready to counter whatever hit might come out. NRG had to cancel, and they do. Plenty of time to pivot. And obviously Finesse was on the other side of the map. Potentially just looking for a pick there. Maybe expecting CNED to go aggressive on that B side.
Finesse is about to have his hands full. 2 on the other side here, shoulder spotted from Angel. Then Nano's going to create some space and buy some time. Meanwhile, NRG go pacey towards A through Cat. They've got them surrounded, and they're backing out. They're canceling again.
The smoke came just in time there from Angel. Both sides of the hit canceled right now. There's a crossfire between Sugetsu and Xiao.
Such a dynamic call. Right on time. That haunt didn't miss. That haunt missed. That was supposed to tag them all up. You can see they were ready to clear it, and now Xiao left in the smoke, trying to clear, trying to spam. Oh, but Navi have been able to hold the line. They get 3.
Huh?
Down B.
The 4th tagged up. Saw him trying to make a play by himself, and he does. They've tried to equalize it, and once again, it all falls onto Sam in a 1v3. No armor, just a ghost. He's got the spike close by. He should be able to get it down. No immediate threat, and he tucks in the smoke. Not understanding there's a player right above him.
Yeah. That is crazy from Navi there. The fact that close range engagements are going in their direction when they're all buying up ghosts against the Frenzies who did close the distance on them is crazy. And right here, Sugetsu should be dead.
Twice over.
One enemy remaining.
And then here, yeah, they did know where Sam was because of the spike just getting planted, knowing that he should have tucked into a smoke.
Yeah, he couldn't have gone far.
Yeah. Didn't hear the TP or anything like that either. So that's both pistols here for Navi. And on that attack side, that's crucial. But here on the defense, it's just going to add so much work for NRG to be able to bring this back. Spam through.
Find you.
Xiao again trying to get that haunt to ping. Not quite able to do it. Is there backup here? No. Xiao's alone waiting for CNET, but they don't punish. And the flash as well from Angel to defend his position still.
Now you see CNET has filled the space to help a little, provide some cover. Spike's going to rotate back towards A, and once again, it seems like we've got a split on our hands. Remember, the last time they tried this, it was canceled. They threw the brakes on it and then pivoted away.
It was canceled though because Navi had a great response at it to slow it down.
What's the response this time? You imagine it won't be as labored. It's just pistols for NRG here.
I mean, they've set up Angel in a great position right now. CNED, if he gets the spam off, if he gets spotted, Angel can peek out, but he gets deleted by Victor's Classic.
From a distance too. But now CNED making his presence known up in heaven.
Yeah, that flood through the door as well, so good from Zipon. And they'll have to opt to go for
30
orbs.
seconds left. Last player standing.
Anything that they can find, anything that they can get, as Navi seem to shut the door on another round. Put themselves up 2.
And again, they didn't manage to convert the bonus, but here on this defensive side, it's going to be much easier of a task. And weaponry will be relatively even. It's the famed Navi buy. There's a lot of work here for NRG ahead of them. It's crazy that this is the first matchup of group stages, and they're already going toe-to-toe. But Navi, despite that 6-round streak, look to be again back in control.
You hear that utility soaring through the sky. CNED understanding there's pressure, procs the dash, wants to go aggressive, wants to take an angle, and a life with it. Not able to do that. Oh!
That's so nice from CNED.
I thought he had a kill there.
Yeah, at least he gets some damage done. But just pressuring with that haunt so good. And can he get the timing off on this? I thought maybe he would have walked through. Yeah, maybe with the flash. The Getser's joining him. This could be dangerous.
Just found him, B-Main, and now he's swinging out mid. Vanessa's turret gets the kill. NRG able to keep him back for now as they get 3, make that 4.
So much util there. And nothing actually found except for Angel. Excuse me, Zipon, the final person to push way late. He was the first guy to flash into that. And there was the flash from Angel and Cat as well. Shao, what can he find?
Spike planted.
Find a little bit of damage there on the receiving end of it. And he's heard. You've got a dart.
They know he's fridge.
Yeah. You've got Som close by. I mean, they've got the guy spotted.
I mean, Som can just walk over and eventually spam him if he so wanted to. You can tell every single one of these rounds, they are working so hard for. The re-clear from CNED back in B main when they initially fought, him instantly getting back. They're calling another play. Crucial first round though on this attack side for NRG. Watching these teams play so far in these first 16 rounds has been absolutely a blast. It's a travesty that we haven't seen them play more. Because we've only seen them, the cores at least once against each other.
Now it feels like the game begins. The CNED's able to get another kill.
And that was a flash obscuring the haunt for him to go with it.
Oh, the trip!
Oh my goodness.
How is he alive? How is he alive?
Somebody broke the trip for him. Came back down to earth.
Artist swinging around, 8 bullets. Not able to land them. Sugetsu's still healthy. Shao from up top helping, providing a little cover. Som's been spotted. How bold does he get? Bit too bold, perhaps. Crashies once again in a 1v3, looking to collide, and he does! Unreal clutch! Oh, we gotta look at that one more time.
This guy is something special. Stand up. Oh my goodness. And that's why the desk was talking about it, almost unanimously said, Crashies, the best player on this team. At least this iteration of it, those moments are why. Again, he's the reason why they qualified to Tokyo in the first place. Clutching out against Cloud9, updraft again. This haunt is so good.
I don't know how he didn't land that shot there. It was close. As quickly as he goes in, he goes out, he goes away. Blades not finding their mark.
Scouting mission for the Sheriffs. Only find the alarm bot, so NRG secures the situation. Now Another re-clear. Flash from Zipon potentially. He gets suppressed though.
Not able to clear it out.
Not only did he get suppressed, but they got the information. I wonder there if Victor heard them fall off.
Because they rotated quickly. I mean, they scurried out of there.
It's crazy too, because they're playing mind games. It sounded like they were gonna go for a stack if Victor was in position to hear. Instead, they fall back immediately towards A. Now they're hearing for sure what Angel's planning.
30 seconds left.
Psalm's ult cleared out.
There's no way they hit. They heard everything.
Crashy's
heard everything.
Yeah, he's in a position to get a free kill here too, and he does. And now anchoring in a spot to cut off the rotates as well. And then Navi, without fully understanding what's before them, is it a B hit with Artis here? Is it A? You just saw Crashy's mid. Just enough. An Artis, excuse me, gets 4. A prime gaming flawless for NRG.
Heating up. The players on NRG are Navi cooling off as well. We saw a very similar streak start. There's moments like the one that Crashy's just hit. In fact, it was him who started off that streak on the first half. Artis capitalizing on the anti-eco kills. The Swedish coming out from Toon Bros too.
17-9 performance for the initiator from NRG. And what a start. Remember, this is in the face of a half that should not be going this way, but they've managed to put together 3 rounds, take the lead back. But can they hang on to the momentum? Ult used early. And Crashy's is so far back, he's not affected by it.
Zipon's dodged at the trip!
Again, he still gets a kill though! Tethered, but still finding value.
Flash allows Zipon on the site to start clearing, make sure there's nobody else out A. Allows them to reassess the situation, and Shao's got deep mid. He can start to listen, just like Crashy's did in the last round.
Do you check it? Oh my goodness, everything is so methodical. Yeah, Angel helps from up top.
He's got to run towards B right now. He has no clue whether there's anybody out in this situation, and Finesse is going to try to capitalize on that space.
Well, where do they go from here? Because they still have Psalm posted up towards A. Once again, misdirection perhaps.
Angel clearing this right now. He actually got out into stairs. He hears that there's nothing happening, so CNED positions back over.
Psalm finding a big one. Psalm finding the second.
They can't peek rafters.
They just can't, man.
They're not allowed.
First Crashies, now Psalm. And now an Angel, who a couple of moments ago was trying to clear up B, got hit with a knife, rotates back. Now it's he who's in a position to deliver a clutch.
And chooses not to descend from the heavens. Instead, goes back over towards mid. I don't think he's going to try for this. Maybe can recover an op. But CNED was up heaven, so there's none to be found in this spot.
Does he dare?
Oh, turret's positioned the opposite way. Door closed, though.
Yeah, literally shutting his opportunity on the round.
Got to save his weapon now. I think they could have heard him in there in A main. Doesn't look like they reacted, though. Should be safe. And NRG not interested either. This attack side so far, fantastic from NRG. Again, we really thought, you saw the stats at halftime. This is going to be a really tough battle.
63.8?
From Navi, yeah, on the defense. To make it out. Plays higher than Foot, at least in that initial battle. So that's why timeout called. This is their map pick. This is their time. Because NRG picked Lotus, and that has been a struggle point for Navi to find out where their comps will lie. I'm sure it's been settled somewhere. It can't possibly be that Yoru they were running.
We could only hope. Love to see the Yoru.
It's a light buy, though. Angel did save that weapon, remember, but he gave it to CNED. A lot of teams aren't doing this for some reason. Get your star player that weapon.
He has delivered for Navi a few times in this map already.
NRG's been doing a great job neutralizing him, though. He hasn't found any value as much on this defensive side, outside like the pistol round.
Finesse once again stuck mid. Getting info, perhaps getting a rotate. And Artis once again tried dashing out, but he's caught by the trip.
And normally Crashes is great at destroying trips with his shocks.
Once again, the micro game being played. Either way, NRG still have the site. Remember, this is a lighter buy for Navi. And Sam's gonna clean it up with 3 on his own, make that 4. NRG at 11.
Navi try to go for a flood with the lesser weaponry, but Sam parts the waters. Nobody swinging there with the cage as well. There's literally no util. So I'm just playing aim lab at that point. Just nasty stuff. He's had so many insane moments on this map. And we're entering round 20 right now. This is the first opportunity for NRG to capitalize on this fantastic attack side half and put themselves on match point.
5 rounds in a row. Victor going up aggressive, but I don't think they realize that Zipman's tucked. Sugetsu able to help.
He's in trouble though. Artis is up.
Trip's not finding it there. You saw him on screen for just a moment. The blades are though. The Shao is done. Numbers for NRG once again.
And over. Navi put in this position where retaking is so hard. They're fighting so hard for the sites. CNED with an op though. And this lockdown, very tough to deal with.
Turret, the lockdown, the spam, they know he's there.
He's behind him.
70 HP, and once again, Artis, a couple of blades to the back of the head. A 4K for the duelist as NRG gets to 12.
It feels like the important rounds, Artis is showing up over and over and over. In fact, everybody in the second half from NRG.
It's got to be by committee when you're going to defy the data like that.
Nasty.
Your fault.
And that was a buy round.
Enemy remaining.
The last one they tried to flood. This time, they crush him. Match point now for NRG. And again, a 6-round streak. This is where it fell apart in the first half. But I mean, with the way the rounds have been going this time around, 4 chances to close out.
Made quite the runway for themselves. NRG currently have 4 towards A. Finesse once again lurking not far behind. Drone the first to go, and that knife is gonna get so much info. 4 tagged. Off of that, you can't help but wonder. You actually see Angel swinging in towards B just as those 4 hit with the knife, expecting Finesse to be trying to find some space.
Here it goes. This is where that mid-rounding comes in. We actually haven't seen many of those moments where you are confused as to what the calls will be, but this is where the 2 wise men, Finesse and Angel, battle the best. He's gonna call a re-clear up cat, and this trip has been a problem. Finesse at the same time trying to activate a lurk for himself. And also they feint towards top mid.
That knife's gonna tag him. The trip is down. They can push through that, but he tucks back. A 1-for-1 is Sam once again finding a multi-kill up in heaven. And look at Finesse, he's tucked his way in. Bit of a shaky crosshair there. Pressure still applied, and the Nano to cut things off. There are only 17 seconds left here.
They're still trying to clear the site right now. Not sure if Sugetsu still lies in wait. There's a lot of time finally for Navi to come through, but 3v4 at match point, they cannot lose this.
Cam cleared, ult used. Spike ticking away. Artis trying to hold the line as Angel is just above him. Unaware of his position for now.
How does Shao use his ult? He's got to try to clear some space with it.
And he's got to be fast on it here. There it is, ult invested. When does Finesse go? He's been spotted, 28 HP left. It's just a distraction, he's just a nuisance. As NRG are able to hold the line by themselves. Sam gets a 3K again as NRG take a 1-0 series lead. I remember early in the season, Angel up to some shenanigans with very aggressive ults deep into spawn.
Absolutely.
Whimsical ones at that. We'll see if we get any of that this time around, as we did see hints of that on Ascent as well.
Yeah. On the other side though, NRG with this Neon comp, Navi should be a little familiar on how to play against Neons, given the prevalence of that for foot. They played quite a few times.
Did manage to get to him.
Spike drop. I'm out of here.
Pushed him all the way back into B-Link where he can't stay. He falls off immediately, and there's a big seize. Nade as well. Doesn't
Threw it
catch
though.
him because the speed of Victor.
Exactly, you see the value in the space. Being able to get past that. Finesse able to get the first. Now Sugetsu dancing around the utility. Looking for help. Trying to buy some time. The Spike hasn't been committed. They're going to rotate out.
Just tapped it and pushed back. You can see why Victor wants to go there.
The Paranoia's ahead of it though, and that might buy enough time. Once again, the pendulum swings, this time back towards C, and this time into the hands, into the laps of Zippon.
There's not those util combos though.
Does he have health? Can he deal any damage? No. Drop by Artis. Saw him taking a little bit of damage there. Crashes this time. Second time's the charm. Gets the spike down C.
I mean, they went around the world there multiple times, where the world is only C and B. But they've got full advantage, 5v3. The retakes were tough for Navi on that defense on Ascent.
And now we'll get to see if they're able to hold it off. Victor the first on the swing. Victor gets the second. A beautiful round for NRG. Prime Gaming flawless.
The speed at which that started off for NRG, and they avoided instantly one of the key factors. The desk was touching on it, specifically Kakuka mentioning that fade raise combo. You saw the C's come in, it almost caught them. Victor's just slightly too quick.
Variable removed.
I think when I saw them run the fade raise very early on in the season, I was excited about the way that they were using those nade combos, but mostly on their attack side, not so much on the defense. And they abandoned it so fast that you didn't really see evolutions of it, so I'm interested how this plays out.
Did Finesse tuck behind that haunt towards A? There may have been a little bit of misdirection, and off of that, it looks like NRG want to rotate that way.
Okay, but they are getting the orb for Shao.
They've pushed up. I don't think they realize what's on the other side of this. Finesse getting the first. Bit of a hold to Shao, not able to land the shot.
Usually tough for them to escape this position, but Finesse pops his orb up, allows him to fall back into the util. By the way, another very crucial change here is Angel's playing on the controller and Shao on the Killjoy. The big problem, the biggest problem for their Lotus compositions and the meta in general for Navi has been the fact that all the double controller comps are also played with KJ.
Sure.
And because of that, that pure Sentinel from Sugetsu, it's tough to continue running because he's the Viper for this team. So Shao's been left in a role crisis, and you could see it come to a head right now as he's playing KJ, rather than the initiator, rather than the controller that he's been so good at.
Deep flash and the paranoia. Angel near sighted with 70 HP, looking to take a fight around the wall. There are a couple of heads just on the other side of it. He's not able to find any of them though. And now with 10 seconds left, the rest of the round feels like a formality. Cool. I don't know how he hit that second shot, man.
And it is a good conversion on the anti-eco. And again, remember, for NRG, they lost both pistols. They didn't get the opportunity to play in these rounds specifically. So it's their turn to try to balloon the lead at the beginning of the rounds, or the half, I should say. Navi 2, you could see actually, now they go for a more default wall, but in that that eco for them, they actually put their Viper wall covering B and C, kind of the opposite of the wall right now. You heard Doombros talk a lot during that halftime interview, or between map interview, about how they have something prepared specifically for NRG. Wonder if that factors into how they're using the Viper walls on this defense.
Very well could be the case for now. NRG attention towards A. Finesse creeping his way forward. I don't know that they're going to be expecting his position to get to in the face of paranoia. Has to drop a molly. The utility, the way that NRG uses utility is so overwhelming. It's so oppressive.
It's not just the util too. It's the amount of times they're tapping this door.
Yeah.
They've tapped it 4 times already in this round on pistol. They tapped it 4 rounds on the C side.
It's the scratching of nails on a chalkboard. You have to address it. You have to respect it. But you so desperately want it to stop. And Finesse patiently waiting for as long as he was. Gets a kill. Angel though, sucker punching Artis.
Spike planted.
Definitely doable here for Navi. Again, their retakes have been struggling, but that's a start from Angel.
That's clean.
Takes down Crashes too. The thorn in their side is Psalm that one though this time.
Finesse is still in a position
That's ridiculous.
To play hero if need be, but he ultimately falls. 2v2 now, Sam re-exploring. He's going to be going in through panel. Victor's already fallen, but I don't know that they're going to be expecting Sam's position.
That nade is horrible.
Why would you expect another there? The Red Bull clutch for NRG!
Again, it's Sam. What a beast. And he will be the thorn in their side again. At this point. I mean, that's brutal. That nade from CNET, I have to say, again. He just completely whiffed on that one. Tries to cut off the spot that Sam was last spotted. But not quite fast enough to react. And it's also nading his spike diffuser.
The clutches have come in bunches for NRG. We're early on the second map, the potential for more. You see the slight buyout for the defense. Just the Bulldog in the hands of Angel.
You start to look at more of those situations go in NRG's favor, and you're looking at a blowout here on Lotus.
Mind you, this is the attacking side. Maybe not to the same degree as we talked with Ascent, but attacking side should be favored here.
Of course, Navi, great at resetting the mental, great at being able to come back in these situations, but on Lotus, it's one of these maps that they have struggled with so often, and again in a retake.
Familiar territory, but not certainly one you want to see again. Sam creeping forward, spotting Angel, dealing damage. 5 HP for the leader for Navi. Ultimately falls to 0 as Sam once again causing problems. Another flawless round for NRG.
Multiple now. And it's going to be a timeout for Navi to recover from that Prime Gaming flawless. Those double smokes on the site, one was the defensive one was the attack side.
That was clean.
Make it really difficult for them to actually barrel through. And definitely, game plan needs to be reevaluated. Those ideas that you heard Doom Bros talk about, planned for this team, knowing that this pick was coming. Not coming to fruition right now.
You wonder what adaptations will be made on the other side of this, I think. But I mean, the truth is, Zipan to get to both struggle. Really, nobody has found very much traction at all for Navi. So maybe this is just even aside from strategic adjustments, just like, all right, settle. Right? It's still early in this map. There's still plenty of time to make a run at this.
One of the reasons why they're so resilient in general is because they're not really an emotional team.
Yeah.
And because of that, that may make it harder to capitalize on some of the momentum off of big rounds from CNET, off of big rounds from Xiao. But you're right. Zipan specifically, I think, on that first map, had so many opportunities to continue to anchor the site, uses util in a good way, and constantly just getting countered out hurts over and over. He's one of those guys who so underrated on this team. And see how they reset. That timeout, unfortunately, has to be used, the bulk of it, to consider how these ults are going to be used from NRG. Not really even addressing the game plan.
3 ults to him, the lockdown, the Seekers, and then Victor's overdrive.
I like what they're doing, doubling down on the fact that they're getting up into A main. That haunt, that one-way combination is allowing them to farm orbs.
Different Viper wall too, you see how far up it goes, sectioning off B. But it seems like they want to NC. Once again, the tapping of the door and Crashies falls. How many pump fakes are we in for this time, Bala? Already had one towards B. This time they invest the lockdown.
The lockdown this time.
Yeah.
No chance they actually pivot back off of. So I'm very low HP. Is this pick good? Yes. Covers both waterfall, but it does give them some space to work with on the backside of the spawn exit.
There was no funnel behind that Prowler too that was intended to provide some info in the pit.
There's so many key ults, one pip away from Navi. They're not gonna have time to actually activate those with a kill.
All 4 members of NRG, with the exception of Artis, tucked in the pit. Oh! Cena trying to find space, catch him by surprise, and he cannot. Pit's still up, Pit's still in play. Sam with 41 HP. Both players separated! Sugetsu finally taking him down.
They're giving up the pit though, going for mollies instead.
Both fire through, Artis with 2. He's gonna have to do it on his own. And with 2 bullets left,
to get half.
Flip runs dry, jumps up, tries to spot him! And Artis gets all 4!
He is just beasting his former teammates. And this time he's playing Killjoy. What a moment for Artis. Again, Sugetsu's really finally, he comes alive in that moment. Makes it really difficult. And you can see the NRG players falling back into that post plant, falling back into old reliable, dropping the pit. It's the right call. This time though, finally those ults, you can see there was no ults last round. This time they have 4. NRG challenging.
Remember, it's just Pistol Swarm. They do have 3 rifles, excuse me. There is a little bit too here, and one of them finds value.
Victor seconds away from saving him with that fast lane.
Gotta be careful here. The turret's gonna provide some cover, but Navi have taken so much space down C.
He just broke it.
I've got your trail.
They're kind of trapped in right now.
CNED, not able to find it, not able to land it with the ult. And they're gonna push back into the space that Navi had taken. Lockdown cleared, members of Navi cleared.
Got rifles upgraded though across the board.
3 still in play. He wasn't able to find anybody.
Oh, no.
Showstopper. The Phantom cannot either. Second time's the charm though with 6 bullets left. Finds another. 3v2 in favor of Navi.
Crashes gets off here and allows Finesse to work this flank. The alarm bot was down.
He's so far up. Zipan's gonna be the first to contact.
Moments like these. Mid-rounding from NRG. Finding gaps. Finesse is all the way through spawn. He's not even gonna get caught by Angel. They've put this into a very workable, if not advantageous position NRG has because of Finesse's flank.
As a Molly, you just saw the orb used.
And despite the fact that that bounced a few times, it's still perfect. Maybe a gap on the left, but should be fine.
Crashy's just got a flash up too. Position to perhaps get info up in heaven.
This is an odd decision though, because he commits into pit, into the drop down. So he's isolated from Finesse.
Angel's so weak. CNED not much better off.
Same decision being called from Navi, splitting up as well.
He's gonna hear him. Waiting, there it is. Shots delivered. CNED in, a 1v2, a chance to play hero, and he cannot, as Crashy shuts the door on the round. 6-0 on the attacking side for NRG.
These rounds are coming in huge streaks for NRG. It was 6 in a row in the first half of Ascent. It was 7 in a row on the second half to close out the map. Now you're starting again, 6-0. I mean, those pistols in the last map that Navi strung together.
See? Not bad.
A big factor in why that game was even a thing here. You can see, even when CNED has some heroics to get this round back, he gets shut down in the clutch.
Oh, this time Angel shutting down Victor. Paranoia traded.
The shift out of the timeout for NRG has been hit this A side hard. And the adjustment is not there from Navi to start pivoting. That nade, that C is over towards that A side.
Recalling my bot.
And don't forget, Artis used his lockdown 3 rounds ago, now back active.
Xiao's gone exploring. Once again, the turret to provide some cover. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight ensues towards A main. Navi are able to hold the line. They get 4. And a great response as Navi are finally on the board with a Prime Gaming flawless.
What a way to come alive there, swinging out of the door. For all 4 remaining players.
Spike down A. Flawless.
And remember, that was still as well. NRG canceling that A main pressure. Angel just comes out way wide, gets the kill anyways, and TP's out. Despite not finding value with the one-way, with the haunt.
Fine.
Well, let's see approach for NRG here. Heavy towards C. And another opener for NRG.
Victor's neon is disgusting. And there you see, because the presence was so heavy towards C, Angel thinks he has a little bit more space, but the battle between the 2 IGLs. Finesse gets the better of him again.
And that's got to be so miserable for a defense to know you're not winning fight C. At the same time, you're losing fights A. You're not really gaining any traction anywhere. Zipan spotted. Fight taken out of him. Trying to trade it.
He's the only one here.
He's
Still
not
gets
around
it.
for long.
But they also get another kill on the other side. Oh, and CNED just has to shrug at that.
Get the spike down, and again, it looks like NRG will hit
Spike
7.
planted.
Tough position too. He knows Finesse is going to be hitting that lurk after getting CNED.
You just have to know, right? It's Finesse, too.
It's hilarious too, because Finesse, I mean, has definitely struggled. He comes into this tournament as one of the lowest rated players, but consistently, when you watch NRG, he is finding rounds like this.
Yep.
Big multi-kills. Surprisingly, in the Americas League, he had some of the highest 4K totals out of anybody. Not even going to attempt it. So Finesse will just end with the 3. And if history so far in this match has been anything to go by, they start another streak right here. That blowout will come to reality. Which is crazy, again, considering all the way back towards Ascent, how we were thinking that reality was not going to favor NRG after that first half that we saw. If they lost control of that first streak.
I believe that's a second timeout called from Navi.
Yeah.
So in the first half, they invest both and decide to go silent from their coach for the rest of the map.
That's something that Chet and Finesse can use to their advantage.
Yeah, you wonder too how much of that was extended off of the fact that the previous round ended the way that it did.
Yeah.
Right, there was just plenty of time for Shao and the team to talk through things. Opportunistic perhaps from Navi's leader to call a timeout and talk through this the rest of the way.
And there has been a shift since that last time out in the game plan from NRG. So it's tough. I mean, it's tough. 9 rounds in and you're calling the second timeout because of that sort of adaptation that is difficult to handle. With a rigid comp like this, you don't really have the room that NRG have with the Neon to be able to flex around the map. Regardless of what setup you start with. If you start with the Raise and Fade on one side of the map, it takes ages for them to get to the other. In time to be there. And the old cycle is going to be difficult for Navi to contend with. It's quite some time away for them to have any key ones, whereas NRG starts out of the timeout with, again, crucial ones. It was the same factor before, by the way. They had to spend a lot of the timeout talking about how they want to counter. For Lotus in general, when you got a KJ lockdown, it's almost always going to that C side or maybe a push-up A tree. But the C one is just so effective. You already saw it once from Artis. And they do insert Victor to open up that door and take control of Mound very carefully. Oh, I mean, he just went out with no smoke, nothing there active.
It's bold.
You should run.
Bold, but it works. There's the lockdown that you were just referring to and how effective it is. They rely on it here.
Oh, I love this.
Me too.
From Sugetsu.
Not only is it the pit from Sugetsu, but look at the space that they're taking mid.
I think that timing might be awful for him, though, and they're already taking pit. He does have space in spawn, but
Sam is in it.
he just recovered it.
He just bullied him out.
Oh, gosh.
Shorty, but he's decayed.
That was a crucial fight for Sugetsu to win. Without that tool, they can't retake the site, but there's a counter pit at the same time.
Site littered with green goo as the spike ticks. How do they flood their way in? Artis playing off site, but once again, everyone huddled up close. Sugetsu swinging around, not spotting anything yet. He's got to go into the pit. Both teams, like Navy SEALs, creeping their way forward cautiously.
They're going to save.
Carefully, and you're right, they're out.
That's crazy.
What a wild round.
And Victor's looking for exits, too. Can he get both? Yes! That decision to save, all of a sudden, they're thinking and scratching their heads. We should have gone for that. If this is the outcome, that we come out with only a single gun.
You mentioned a couple of rounds, Ball, of the possibility of a snowball, the possibility of a stomp. It's 8-1 in favor of NRG right now. It was a 6-round streak that was temporarily broken, and it seems like NRG are back on their way towards that.
They're not just on fire, player-wise, performance-wise. Their strategy is on fire, too, and Finesse's calling is on fire. Everything working for this team.
find you.
We'll have a different Han up on top of the pillar, but everything considered here from NRG. They don't even budge a little bit based off of different util being thrown out. They were so well prepared for this.
Trailblazer paves the way for Victor to not only take his space, but also clear the alarm bot that was intended to be defensive towards B.
One way refreshed. Multiple players here. Both the KJ and the Viper. Could be a deadly combination if they get. They don't have a molly actually, Sugetsu.
You see both from Xiao. Waiting, and Sugetsu's already fallen. There are the nanos, they're procced. Try to find space, try to get through it, and they cannot. Xiao's combination of utility holding him back for now, but he gets peppered through the box. Not able to find anything else. Zipan's rotating over, he has the Nightfall.
Gives up his position here. Some can get away. They're gonna push up.
There's the Nightfall, they want to go aggressive here. They can't hear a thing. CNED finding one with the Phantom. That's all it is, oh dear. Sam once again in a clutch. Spotting Zipan. The silence of the moment deafening. As now Sam hears him and Zipan's on the flick.
Good recovery, and finally one of them fall. One of those 1v1 situations ends up going for Navi. And I say finally because it was a massive string of them throughout the entire series. This round was crazy. I didn't know who could not hear what.
Yeah.
Immense disappointment shown on Sam's face, which is quite surprising given the scoreline shown right now and the control that they have and the performance that he's had so far. Gotta keep it under control though.
Aggression from Navi towards B. CNED, the first there. Victor waiting on the other side. The Prowler finds a kill. And off of that, NRG decide they want to re-explore. They want to go straight into the space that Navi just found success in. And it's quiet. It's contact. CNED, 8 HP close by, not able to find anything else. Seekers invested from Crashies.
NRG is just so good at having a variety of ways. Look at Crashies. Let's get canceled. Oh!
Angel looked at him too.
Down B.
3v2 now. Once again, numbers disadvantage for NRG. Is there the potential for a clutch?
Finesse looks to want to break the door actually, maybe pivot, but they're corralled right now.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Cautiously, Artist gets a spike down. Sugetsu creeping. The potential for chaos is Artist gets the first. 2v2 now. Finesse still a little weak. It's all eyes on Artist. He's gonna have first contact here. Actually, the wall isolates him. It was all on Sugetsu to find the value, and he does. Very well played to play around his utility to isolate the kills.
The fact that Sugetsu is able to realize how Finesse is using that wall to create a pocket for Artist is just so beautiful. It's a Viper v Viper battle. And you can tell why. He wants Sugetsu on that agent. Not that any of the util for him was impactful there, just understanding how Finesse is using his. And Navi are putting together a little bit of a streak of their own. 2 in a row right now. They could end with 4 total rounds in this half, which wouldn't be the end of the world. Not the greatest, but wouldn't be the end of it.
Yeah, by no means.
Lotus is attack-sided.
It is. CNED with an op this time. He's up forward by himself, too. Well, they know where he is. The rumor to provide cover as he tries to take the door, and he takes Finesse with him. That nade is good. Buys some time, but Artist still gets the kill.
Damage done. But Victor gets on the racetrack. Plant the spike and Crashes goes for a little too much there.
Angel's high ground was too much to deal with.
This time the lockdown won't have a chance to get broken other than that flank attempt from Sam. And now he's put his team in a 2v4 situation where they're already going to be defusing before they even get out. And it's not planted for them.
No, I mean, the round is done. There's no way through. No matter how pissed you are, you're not winning this round. Navi equalize. 8-4 still in favor of NRG, but that could have been disastrous.
NRG with all the momentum. Let it slip a little bit. And despite CNED, by the way, he should have been dead without even one there. But still able to recover. Trade him out and get on that site.
CNED. Remember, we talked about the last time they played Raze.
Yep.
He looked slightly uncomfortable. Now, as the sole tip of the spear to go aggressive on attack, I imagine he's got to be able to find some space.
Well, don't forget Angel's on the team.
That's true. He is the entry. He is the entry. That's a very good point.
Yeah, that was all the way back at lock-in when they played this Fade Raze. And they had some really good set nades. That haunt is ridiculous, by the way. The tech shown, but Artist not peaked.
Only tagged one. CNED wise to it. You see the paranoia as they try to take the fight through the door. Sam and Crashies both, with Victor not far off.
Such good understanding of the control that they have on Mound there with the one-way. Again, NRG displaying a mastery of strategy. Just like the pistol on Ascent, slowed down to a crawl.
Cover going out.
They're just gonna re-hit as soon as that smoke comes back up from Angel. A flash to come through. He's got this in the bag.
Yeah, he was done. No real chance to counterplay there.
That orb is fantastic, by the way. Very difficult to do anything because you have to jump out once you get out of it.
Crashies has no flashes to pop out of
Whoa.
it. Victor going forward. Crashies with the first, and that's all it is. The pistol for Navi.
3 out of 4. Crucial for them to stay in that game on Ascent. And despite that, they still lost 13-8. Very well done, though, on the side of Navi, specifically Angel. And there was even a safety valve there with the flank from Sugetsu coming in late in the round.
NRG choosing not to buy here, just the shorty for finesse. That pesky one that he can be.
I think that wall is actually jump spottable. Now Navi are throwing out. You got to be careful with those. There's so much pros and cons for all of the different Viper Wall on attack that you put down. And one can cover stairs, one can actually cover heaven when you actually hit the A side, one can prevent the jump spot. You actually see it right now from Sam. Even when that wall goes up, he has a little pocket to peek a little bit.
Just over a minute left in this round. You saw the first orb picked up mid by Navi. Seems like that's all they want to do for now as they turn their attention towards A. Nade, the molly, and the door. I mean, they're fully committing to this. They've invested everything.
That's a really good nade and haunt combo right there. Not using a seize, doesn't have it in this round, but that nade pushes them into the haunt. So the players who are pushing in tree have full awareness of what's going on.
Sugetsu tucking inside the smoke in the face of the flash, drops the molly, Shao gets the kill.
The orb coming up at the same time too, decaying them all.
Very nicely done.
And if you allow these post plants to get set up from Navi, they have so many tools. Not that NRG didn't, of course. We didn't actually see much A-side pressure from NRG, other than looking for picks in that. In the mid-round, they were always falling off. Heading towards B and C, Navi not doing the same. A whole map holistic approach.
All things considered, very clean for Navi. They keep all their weapons. They didn't even take damage, if I'm not mistaken. I believe all of them carried light armor through.
That's important.
That's really as much as you could possibly ask for.
Minimum 400 credits saved on everybody. Best outcome. Now, considering that, a lot of those anti-ecos for Navi on the pistol round wins have been really best outcomes from them. Very good anti-ecos. It's just this round that they're supposed to have a better advantage because of the way that they buy up. That's become full meta at this point, where they're struggling. And look at this push, 3-man into B, trying to disrupt the bonus ideas from Navi.
The turret was there, Shao was close by, but Sugetsu's the casualty.
He's in a position that that turret is not going to be active fast enough for him to react.
The defense rotating A. You've got Crashies with some utility, waiting on the other side of the panel. I think they may push him.
They didn't need through the panel to clear, so they have that space now. Gotta look for more picks in this 4v5. This is where NRG was shining in that first map. Navi have yet to really display the same.
NRG patient on this. Crashy's only able to take one. His artist is smoked off. Has to give the space up.
You see him pinging so he can go for that spray on anybody jumping up on him in between reloads.
What is Angel up to? He just cleared so much space, but he's not able to get a kill. That would have been devastating.
That stun is disgusting.
Yeah, and Zipan is way too much heat to deal with.
And he just stunned up the entire room.
Victor's got 3 on the round. Chao's left alone. Paranoia is soaring by his face, but Artis is the one who gets the kill. No bonus this time.
No bonus ever. Out of the 3 attempts, Navi really struggling. It's not a round that is very common to win. Obviously, it's about a quarter of the time. But still, Navi out of those teams, and especially given what we've seen so far.
One enemy remaining.
Now, they really haven't been super clean on the gun rounds overall.
Is that a giant cat?
I'm surprised there is an NRG watch party right now. What time is it?
It's got to be late.
It's like 1 a.m. No, actually on Pacific. Yeah, no, it's evening time.
Gamer hours. 3-round lead for NRG.
Meanwhile, Europe's just waking up. Good morning.
Early haunt as Navi go towards A. And once again, mid pressure from NRG. Remember in the previous round, it was a peak. They got the kill. This time they funnel in, they take the space. And much like we saw a couple of rounds ago, they have Navi corralled, controlled, and honestly confused. They don't have any options on where they could go.
We've seen so many situations where NRG has put them in the pen. This time, though, they don't actually continue to tie the noose.
Sam dropping down. Seized. Oh, did he get away? Not enough time.
Imagine, though.
That would have been insane. Finesse finding the kill that Sam could not.
They've arrived now, actually, from the flank down to the site. Are they really going to make a go at this?
Seems like they may.
This is crazy.
Victor the first, Finesse the second.
What?
He finds the kill falling from the heavens. 2v2 now. He's going to swing his way out. Finesse with 3. Victor, 1v1, has to land the shots. Did not get it to half. 9 bullets. He's got to go. He's got to go fast. And Sugetsu keeps him back.
Even if he gets that kill, I don't think he had time, but still, he made an effort. And the fact that they get it down there, I thought it was crazy that they went for it in the first place.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, sure, Neon was making the rotate back off the flank, but so was Crashies. Completely on foot. Found a bicycle somewhere on the map, because that was quick. It almost works out. That's crazy. Still not all hope lost. They put themselves in such a good position on that first half, but Navi responding immediately is very important. Not allowing any streaks.
That's an excellent way to start the round.
I mean, to take down Crashies, yeah, 100%. He's crucial, by the way. I mean, as the solo initiator on this map, the Neon comp relies on having this guy alive.
It's a lighter buy, but Finesse was so far up. You see where he once stood. Off of that, Navi are going to funnel into C, take the site, get the spike down. Plenty of time to spare.
And even if things get hairy, Xiao has the keys to solidify. You want to make sure that you keep that up, though. That lockdown is what I'm referring to. He's so far back that, yeah, you definitely don't think that he's even thinking about it. With the rest of the players staying on site, you can tell they want to prevent that sort of situation from happening.
Question is, does Victor pop the ult here? Perhaps too much time has passed. Sam with the Guardian not finding anything. Oh, he finally does.
I think maybe if Psalm stays alive there, maybe he goes for it. But still a 3v5, excuse me. There's no way with the eco.
No, difficult task. Victor picks up the Guardian. Artist still close by.
Okay.
Phantom, get out of there.
Nice, light armor too.
Last player standing.
I don't want to give up a kill there from Artis. I'm not sure how far he is away from his ult, but Sugetsu now 1 pip away. So they can play for that.
Yeah, very good point. We'll see how close he was.
Okay, timeout here from NRG. Don't forget, Navi used both timeouts in that first half. And Navi with the string of rounds right now, this is a huge opportunity for Doom Bros. Communicate to Angel the things he spotted so far in this first half. But I think mostly, finally, saying the things that we're doing is working. Here's the ideas that NRG are gonna start throwing out at you. And the guy on your screen, Crashies, potentially gonna be the linchpin of it all. Gotta see NRG start to find a bead on the sites that they're gonna hit ahead of time. You're never seeing those same sort of stacks ahead of time from NRG, and some of those retakes as well. Unfortunately, they're losing players beforehand. They're starting to lose hit personnel before the site hits even occur from Navi. That's what I want to clean up if I'm Chet. On the flip side, though, out of a timeout, you've seen them, NRG, consistently go for some very cheeky plays. So I wouldn't be surprised to throw out a very aggressive hit.
You're right. I think about the Ascent hit on defense.
Yep.
Just a couple moments ago, off to the side of timeout.
That Odin spam is the beginning of the end for Navi, really. Still a close game, though.
Doesn't look like they have anything teed up here. Maybe some aggression A off of the paranoia and the flash for Victor to take space, but
yeah, actually, Navi doesn't have any presence there. It looks like Sugetsu will end up rotating towards A after he throws the orb, but no, actually. And no aggression out of NRG, so mostly cleaning up these early hits. And NRG have swapped this wall over towards this C hit. Remember, I was commenting on how Navi were using that in anticipation, but it's because of this lockdown. Key thing here is Sugetsu has his ult because he picked up the orb. Remember, Artis was the catalyst for that, going for that kill. Sugetsu gets it.
oh,
Can't melt there.
they get through. They take a little damage off the molly.
That's 40 damage done to both CNET and Angel.
They're going to have the pit, but Crashies has his ult.
Oh, and this pit actually allows them to come out of Waterfall, and with this mountain push, there's space for them.
CNET able to get the first. Som has fallen. You see Shao playing very far off so he can fight Mound. And that's exactly what he's going to do, but he doesn't really get a chance at the fight at all.
CNET with his showstoppers key here.
Angel just narrowly staying alive. There's the showstopper, and it gets two! The defenses from NRG crumble as CNET gets 4, and it's a round for Navi. We're tied at 9.
Great adjustments there from Navi as well. For both sides, honestly, NRG completely expected the hit that was coming from Navi. They put the wall in that position. And that wall is great for retaking through Mound when this pit is so advanced out of the side of Sugetsu. That showstopper, though, brutal. And CNET, I mean, he looks comfortable. Look at him, 17 and 15.
Yep.
This Raze pick definitely working out where others have failed, or he has failed in the past.
Once again, aggression. This time much more committed. But the haunt, that's what throws the brakes on the hit.
A shift on the Viper wall, too. Towards the seaside. Finesse just jiggling, trying to prevent this again. Orb comes up. There's no KJ util here.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this before. We just saw this. The Roomba first, the Molly traded.
It's the light buy too, so Navi have the opportunity to take the lead in this map. Has not. It's been eluding them the entire time.
Nick is close by, and it's just a stinger! He gets them both, and then the ult, but instantly stopped!
And Spike is down in control for NRG. It all falls to pieces.
Oh, what a thrifty round win would do to the momentum of this map.
Especially speaking as the first time, the first opportunity to even take that lead in the first place.
Can Shao and Sugetsu clutch this out?
I'm concerned that door open actually obscures Som. Som can open it at any point.
Can they win this 4v2 with the spike out of reach? So close, yet so far. Wall goes up. Crashy's patient. No spam yet. Has a Vandal here, fear of being traded instantly.
Door's open.
There it is, Finesse with the first. And it's a thrifty win for NRG. And that very well could be it.
Finesse and Artis just do so good on that site. I don't even know. I mean, that's a blunder for Navi to send both of your dive agents. In this case, the Omen definitely considered that. As he TPs through, it's Victor, excuse me. Those are 2 free kills.
With nothing but a stinger.
And the orb and the molly coming in as well from Artis rotating too. There's no chance to get in and to actually trade those kills. So Navi lose a major opportunity.
Vic has an op, and there's a lot of Navi presence A. Into that op, Angel, flashed, TP's around. Do they check him? They do. I'm not gonna find value, but Crashies gets 2. Now Sam looking to triple dip his way into another kill in the face of the room, but not able to land the shots.
It's a great swing from the 2 Navi players there.
It was.
Finesse, turret spots him. Definitely had an opportunity there. But there's no holes for Navi's setup.
Whoa. Late wall out from Sugetsu.
But nobody's there actually to spot from NRG that wall going up. And at the beginning of the round, you had confusion in the NRG camp about where that Viper wall was because he's been switching it between the C side, between the A side.
That's a very good point, you're right. Artis with a big one.
Why is CNET by himself there? And thinks there's way more space available than there is, and that's because the 2 players are anchors. They're KJ, they're Viper.
If they commit B, they're gonna be having to deal with all this utility that Artis just set down. You see the alarm about the nanos, there it is. Buying time with 30 seconds left. It's a 1v1, Finesse against Xiao.
Look, he's running already towards the A side. He's gonna hear the panel break.
He's ahead of it. I don't think he's gonna get there in time to cut it off though.
I think Xiao should hear him. He's planting the open.
The molly and the shots for Finesse. Just a step ahead.
Why does he need to plant in the open there? I think he has plenty of time, but maybe not. Just going for a gamble to make sure he can maybe get back past stairs. And again, CNET there. After losing that Thrifty, they definitely split up.
Wow. I mean, for Finesse, you saw he was prepared. Prepared to drop the molly on where we expected him to plant.
Yeah. Another battle again. Victor still with the op.
There's a lot more presence here, though. It's a clash. Angel made the same play. Just on the other side of the wall. Victor walks into his death. This time Navi far more successful. Artis finding a blind one though, looking for the second to spam through the smokes. Leave Navi worse for wear. Not only is that 2 kills, but look at Angel's health.
These late round kills from Artis too. It's Artis and Finesse again in the same situation. Last time Artis was able to find CNET on a walkabout.
If I'm not
This time though, they're grouped.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, too, it was a 3v2 again.
Yeah.
This
All
time,
up, they're re-clearing here.
they're so far up. As soon as the wall goes down, the kills will too. Angel with 3, Zipan gets the last, Navi at 10.
That's a ridiculous flick from Angel. That wall coming down, he's ready for it. He knows so much what Finesse is thinking in that moment. And you could see concern on Finesse's face as he thinks that play should have worked. Not only that, but NRG really committing to this A-side push.
That was a very nice flick. And off of that, the last timeout for either side is called.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Nope.
Not quite the distance yet. Navi lost the opportunity to take the lead, but right now, they have the opportunity to tie it back up again. And it's Chet who's calling the timeout. This could end in an epic battle, or absolutely looking like NRG dominate Navi if they end 2-0. We hope it's the first of many to come between these 2 teams of battles. Again, the first time Artis playing against his former team. Right now he's getting the better of most of them. CNET though still in that head-to-head. Definitely filling those shoes very well. That Artis left. If you're just joining us, it was a 13-8 on Ascent. NRG with a ridiculous attack side half. This time, a little bit more standard here on Lotus with these attack-sided halves coming out from both sides. 8-4 for NRG, but now it's within 1. And out of the last 2 rounds, there's been this A main presence over and over. This time, nothing for NRG, and Navi are capitalizing. Straight through the wall, they don't care.
They have Artis locked down, they have Finesse's pit. They've got Sam waiting too.
Satchel in with the Prowler through the door. They know the site's open. That lockdown might get broken by this nade.
Crashies.
It's gone.
It is, you're right. Crashies is gonna get the orb right before the spike goes down, and that brings his Seekers online.
Here.
Face your
Off of the
fear.
paranoia, you imagine they pounce with the panel broken. That's the case. Nightfall investors, Seekers too, and they understand there's a lot of presence towards main.
They're not checking. Sugetsu's really right around the root. They didn't check him.
And Shao's close by too. They're gonna be able to stop him. They're gonna be able to hold him back. That's exactly what they do. Artis has to tuck tail and has to run away.
Doesn't have the same tools, and Navi trying to really keep the pressure on them. If they take down his gun, everybody on the side is broke, other than Artis. And they do just that. Tie game, Navi. Another opportunity to take the first lead of the game.
Whatever happens,
And remember, the last time they were here, it was a thrifty response from NRG.
Yep.
As you just said, they're broke this time.
And I was really wondering where that flash was going to go out of the side of Sam when they broke through the panel. They popped the Seekers. There wasn't really many good lanes for him to shoot, but he does use it where the Seekers go, but they don't quite consider, they don't see the fact that the Seeker did not clear that corner. Or maybe just overwhelmed with the amount of stuff going on in the pure chaos. You're right though, thrifty opportunity.
And the buy is dreadful. And the remaining money for NRG is not great.
This is the first time they find this instant pick and they back off knowing that panel got broken early, so they immediately go into separate protocols.
Finesse is so far up by himself. You mentioned the separate protocol. That is a solo mission for sure.
They've got 2 players here on this B site, but again, these weapons are awful.
Nanos buy some time. The ult invested from CNED. Nothing found.
A lot of damage.
1 HP for Artis. That's insane. The spam from Sam not landing, but Victor's does.
That's even. That's a Phantom.
Can it be picked up?
Zipbound's responding.
No way he gets one. That's still just numbers, not
on the flank now.
equalizing for NRG. And it's Victor by himself with the Stinger, trying to get through it. Behind the wall. It's a tap, buy some time. That's all it's gonna be. Navi gets him at point.
And Angel was the safety valve there. I love the fact that that was a light buy out from NRG. Sure, Navi know that situation, but they invest the showstopper, they invest tools that they might have wanted to save. That's important though because they want to get to overtime. Again, they've only had the lead in this series a single time when they were up 8-6 on Ascent after winning that second pistol. So the 3rd lead now, and it couldn't come at a better time. They solidify at least overtime and still a big room to win this match outright.
For NRG, the money management masterful. They still have plenty enough to buy. An op in the hands of Victor.
That's to try to catch Victor.
Not landing. Angel's been there so many times. Chance to do it again, but Sam holding the line. CNED the first to fall. The pin invested towards C.
Yep.
And you imagine at this point, they've seen what they've seen A. They heard that ult go off.
Yep.
They should know where it is.
There's not really room to pivot back towards C, like you said. They know that in the back of their minds.
And you see the Killjoy setup from Artis. It's not in towards B main, it's through panel.
The thing is, though, out of sight, out of mind. Still a minute to work with. If they do end up pivoting all the way towards C, they have to come up with a late round plan. They do have a lockdown. They do have Angel's ult. I think they want to go for it. They have the tools to try to counter it. But still, in the forefront of their mind, they're choosing not to go for it. Choosing instead to continue this A pressure. And there's an op, and there's 3 players here. NRG, no, it's been favoring this A side.
It's been so quiet for the last few seconds.
30 seconds left.
Not a single step made, and finally the shot rattles off, finds the leader for Navi.
Look at that instant relay bolt as well from Victor. It looks like it's bound to a shoot button.
5v3, Sam gets another. Navi crumbling. Can they respond with 13 seconds left? I don't think they're gonna find a space to get the spike down.
Well, lockdown will give them a lot of room. Especially with the molly to cover up the waterfall push. They should get it down, but this panel push can come very fast.
Was very close. There's the nano. There's the molly. There's the kill for Victor. And even in the face of the pit, NRG do not fold.
We're going to overtime. Had to have at least one in this series. Last year, these two cores were definitely top 3 in their own right. What a spam from Som.
We saw EG find.
Navi already a top 4 finish at lock-in this year. NRG top 8. These are the best of the best.
And what a gift, what a treat this series has been.
In terms of legacy, this right here. They don't have many battles against each other, but we're hoping for a lot more here. This is a first opening match for the two teams.
Placing alarm bot.
Wall up. Very different wall from Finesse here. Allows some approach towards this A side by walking out behind it, using this Trailblazer, the flash coming in at the same time, the stun too. They're not going to commit off of it. You can see Som had it in his pocket to throw out that paranoia based off what the dog stuns.
He was ready to go. You're right, he had it primed.
But realistically, this wall was always placed to hit towards B.
And that's where they're headed.
And they used this alarm bot early to actually contain this space.
30 seconds left.
Just so they can come back to it later. Do they find success here? It's just an alarm bot. There are no nanos to really cover anything like that.
Xyz. No nade combo though. CNED was over towards C.
Victor's there to greet Angel.
He's running in
13 seconds
blind.
left. They get the spike down, and you're right. Zipa not able to find any space either.
Oh.
Chow do something here, perhaps to get to.
Spike's not down yet.
2v3, they've got to commit to the spike. Finesse! Almost able to hold it. How did he get it down? Artist left in a clutch, and Sugetsu with 4! No way!
He's on his feet. That's a ridiculous round. His teammate satchel him while trying to stop the spike plant. And then he turns and gets the one tap. I think that was last bullet, Doug.
I gotta see that again.
Just the streak. 7 seconds. 3 players left. Spike not planning yet.
That is bomb. Maybe lurker.
Oh my gosh. Is that last bullet? That is nasty. And Navi again, another match point. I did not expect to be there after the initial start of that round. It looked like NRG was in full control.
Yeah.
Again, Angel, Zipan walked in blind. They didn't even really know what was on the other side. Give up their lives willingly. But it's because they wanted to summon Voldemort and Zipan. The Angel of Death.
What an outrageous turn of events. Remember, the spike almost doesn't even get planted. Oh.
It's crazy that it did. That must have been milliseconds.
Oh,
My
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a bout between these two. And once again, Navi match point. NRG used the one timeout they have in overtime. You get 1 extra for the entirety of all overtimes. It doesn't matter if we go to 10.
Now, note here very quickly, Victor once again has the op. It is glass cannon, but he's normally been setting up
Yes,
towards A.
yes.
This time he's C.
Well, the important thing is, normally you're throwing that orb from Sugetsu. It looks like he's going to do it again. He actually uses the wall, though, so that might give a gap
Breaks over.
if it doesn't come up early enough.
But he's behind. There's
Molly,
a little bit
though.
of traffic there.
That Molly bounces on the wall, so okay. Good landing.
Woo. 53 HP. Remember, he
They're
had
committing.
armor.
They're committing here.
88. Off of the decay. What help does he have? They've spanned this angle before, and CNED was ahead of it.
That's a big mistake there. They didn't have the right plan there. Because Som falls off, Victor tries to go into that space. But he doesn't have room to escape. He's not playing. Jet Neon definitely can't dash as best as possible. And things are going to quiet down. Navi's been formidable in these situations where they get those early entries. But when there's room for individualism, out of Angel, out of CNED, things get definitely dicey.
1-3-1 setup here. The last couple of rounds have been so tense. So many resounding moments of silence. And off of the momentary delay, Navi turned their attention towards C. Early flash out from Crash. He's getting some info.
Dude, they farmed CNED's orb.
There's the ult! Nothing found from Sam as CNED just drops him. And it seems like they're going to be able to put it away unless Crashies can pull off heroics again.
Alarm bot, just in time.
4v3 and Angel's gone exploring mid.
Oh my goodness.
Crashies with a position to make a play. Had the shorty out for just a moment. Opts to go against it. And it's a 14-12 win for Navi.
Kakuka was talking about how they're going for it over and over now, this race, which is, I think, what they've been struggling with the entire time. The entire season, just trying to figure out exactly how these roles are going to work out.
They seem to find comfort in that pick for sure.
And the difference, I think, the double duelist out of NRG, I think this is a pure counter towards that, trying to bring the KJ, which is not the sentinel of choice for most teams on this map.
It is different. You're right about that.
And coming in with the double controller as well, it's essentially the Lotus comp, just with a Sky instead of a Fade. And oftentimes the reason for that Cypher being better on this map is because those cages can allow you to lurk. And also, there's not as many good lockdowns on this map.
Meanwhile, there are a plethora of good cams.
Yeah.
Plenty good trip angles. You're absolutely right.
Now, Sugetsu is getting caught a lot in mid during their playoffs bout against Team Liquid. Not too long ago. We'll see if he cleans that up. That's very important against his double duelist comp, which can come with some pace.
Deep flash into garage, finding some info for Zipon. But no real way to confirm what's on the other side. Finesse is going to be the first there. An Artist on the swing, aggressive, the dash away, leaving Finesse to die. Trashies follows suit shortly thereafter. But great response. There's still a shot at this. It's gotten down to 2. It's gotten down to 1. But Xiao's healthy, while the 2 remaining members of NRG are not.
So, better weapons for them.
It's a good point. It's just a classic.
He could pick up a Ghost right here or Frenzy, either one possible. But he spots them both, actually. And a great movement on the rope.
The light armor's gone. The health is gone. Artist from that distance with the Frenzy getting the pistol for NRG.
Just not able to land the shot. I thought the movement was great there. Actually able to tuck back on top of that rafter as he hit the rope. With the double swing, really nice from Artist. And Som. Those last 2 players. And again, I think this KJ specifically picked to try to stop the pace that is possible from NRG. They're going to have to adapt fast to that sort of idea, because you've seen in the past NRG really come out fast and furious. But they've also shifted gears plenty of time.
Angel taking some space mid, Som there to greet.
That's a beautiful angle from Som.
Yeah, it
Not
is.
one that I've seen before, but on those anti-ecos, you just find those to be so easy, because you're looking for one-taps, and you're taking risks on the swings.
You can see Xiao there crouched, waiting for someone to swing, for someone to dare challenge him. And he's crept up a little bit further here.
Like how Finesse just doesn't react to the flash at all.
Just takes it.
It's probably in the middle, looking at the mini-map or calming something. Doesn't matter, though. This is where Finesse shines. Not in these anti-ecos, just on this map in particular. It is such a mid-round heavy map. You have to be strong at that. I think the battle between Finesse and Angel, in that regard, has been going towards Finesse over the entire series mostly.
30 seconds left.
Obviously Lotus, Angel had some peaks, especially in the early round calling.
Yeah, but on average, I would agree with you completely. Artist gets open or onto CNED.
That's huge. Artist has not been winning those battles. I mean, we saw it. After the first map, the stats were brutal. After the second series, Artist is 7-11 against CNED in general. And CNED is 17-6, plus 11.
Jeez.
And that's in first duels only.
CNED's been performing exceptionally well.
So is Artist.
Yeah, he's starting to eco-frag a little bit.
One enemy remaining.
Ball handled. Very well handled. Prime gaming flaws for NRG.
That man caught the bird in his legs.
He did. He did.
Grace has some good inventories. Would love to pick them up.
Same start that NRG had. They finally do get a pistol. Again. That's 2 for 5. Most of these bonuses, in most cases, it's been Navi playing them. But NRG did win the one on Lotus. Remember that streak? They went up 6-0. 6-0. Those starts were very momentous for NRG. I think Navi has broken that sort of idea, though. I don't think they're going to be coming in the same amount of bunches on this map.
Yeah, Split really just doesn't lend itself to that quite the same way, but I do think you're right. There's a lot of what Navi seem to have been figuring out that should prevent that. Dash into the Cloud Burst, right into the Nano.
It's an updraft, though.
Manages to stay alive. Victor goes aggressive. Upgrades a weapon, too.
And that's space taking by the double duelist right there. Surprises. Xiao on the site.
They're into spawn, and you can see they're going to want to cut off the rotation. They're going to want to keep Navi at bay. Ooh. And you're not expecting a second heat. Well, okay, never mind. Ninja was.
You are. That's a fall off because of the nade, though. Paranoia is going to allow him to retake that space, but with the Trailblazer, too.
At that distance, so I don't think it's going to get much info on the site.
Look at the star that Sam just placed, too. Angel has no way out. It has to be these two coming from heaven.
Can they find space? Crashy's down low with the Sheriff, getting the first. The flash to swing. Looking for another, and he finds it.
Angel's out.
I mean, another bonus for NRG.
Yeah, 3-0 start. That's huge. Angel does save the gun, though. This is one of those situations that is actually weird because the money's not there to buy. Or actually, there is plenty of money. All right, look at it.
No more Viper.
This flash. Is Zipon's able to turn that? I mean, he's definitely dueling with Crashy's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crashy, the one player who really didn't have a weapon there. And as you can see, there is definitely like 3K, lots of people buying armor here on Surprise Angel. When we've seen in the past, he gives up that rifle over to CNED. I think in here, you definitely, 800 credits for him to try to, able to have a buy, he needs to get a kill or two.
Yeah, he got one. Rifle picked up from CNED. Not able to find any value with it.
And that's, I mean, CNED needs to be backing off there as fast as possible. They pushed into the B site, and Sugetsu can be able to recover this weapon. Investment of the Seekers from Crashies to maybe find some push here.
Does Artis follow them? Yes, he does. Spotting one.
That's crazy.
It's bold.
They heard the rope for sure, though.
You see it from Sugetsu, crosshair trained. Crashies, do you dare swing? Do you dare peek? Drop on the first. And the confirmation of the second up high! But the timing's not great. NRG win the round anyway.
Very nicely handled to bring them up to 4. That bonus, winning both of the attempts that they've had so far. Very hard to recover from.
I killed you. One enemy remaining.
I think another thing we have to talk about is we've seen 2 maps that have been very swingy.
Yep.
Right? Ascent, very heavily defensive-sided. Lotus can be very heavily attack-sided. Split does not operate the same way.
Oh, yeah,
So a lead like this, Bala, is significant.
Yeah. And especially right now, I mean, the comps make such a difference. Look at this dash from Artis. Goes for the right click on Sugetsu, and that's what I was talking about. He got punished a lot in middle during their playoffs run.
It's a very good point. A pause across the middle of the map for NRG.
Oh my goodness, seeing that as well with the op. Gets the money up.
He's got to get the kill.
High lows.
That's
Impossible.
Yeah, that's just such an unexpected angle.
He's so high that the crosshair placement's nowhere near.
You didn't even see him in the scope.
And now they're messing with the economy significantly for Navi. There's no chance they get another buy. Buying up an op in that situation. Xiao's in trouble.
He's trying to tuck tail. He's flash, manages to get around the corner with 68 HP and too many targets to find. He cannot deliver. Angel's left alone. It does look like he's going to pick up that op, though.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, it's not even necessarily has to. But obviously, that's such a good weapon to have when the rest of your teammates are not going to be able to buy up. NRG should know that he's going to look to pick up the op.
Or does he just keep the Vandal?
I mean, yeah, he's doing it. That's the choice made.
Does not look like Angel will be found as the round expires. But NRG, much like we saw on map 1, much like we saw on map 2, they find themselves winning rounds in bunches. Another streak.
I mean, you're looking at 6-0, just like Lotus. Just as I was thinking. You're going to have a shift. Streaky or not, Navi have fought back so many times. They only fell flat on that second half of Ascent. Every single other time, they've come back slightly. On Lotus, when they went down 6-0 at the beginning, they ended the half 8-4. Respectable little comeback. Again, when they went down in the second half, when they lost up, almost gave up match point, they swing it back.
This is now the third map in a row where Navi called a timeout early in the first half. And again, it's in the face of a streak.
Yep.
You understand why.
Eyes on the prize right now for NRG.
Meanwhile, for Navi, they have to cauterize and capitalize the bleeding that has taken place.
There's a lot of tools here, too. Again, to consider. At least Navi has their own. In terms of ultimates, on board right now, Sam has his Cosmic Divide. Victor has his Showstopper for NRG. For Navi, it's the Viper's Pit and Seekers. So potentially they can shut down one side. Maybe it's middle. Out of this timeout, we just saw Artis try to punish Sugetsu and get success with it. And look at this buy. Out of Navi, it's very interesting.
That is different.
Sugetsu's getting one rifle, Angel again with a rifle of his own, and the rest are sheriffs, so going for a little hero buy.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to a point you were making earlier where we've seen Angel in instances like this hand the rifle off to their star duelist.
Yeah.
This time Cena just with the sheriff. Cosmic Divide instantly invested. Shao, discipline box, but very well handled by Artis. You hear the showstopper used too. As Artis goes up top, Sugetsu there to greet the double duelist.
Wait, this orb is really bad for CNET to actually get some space. He's gonna get both kills.
How much more can he find? It's become a mess. It's become a complete mess.
Oh, the secret doesn't get broken either. I don't think Finesse could see it, as Sam has not been spotted by it yet, so it doesn't show up on the minimap for him. It doesn't show up on his screen visually. But Zippon gets on the site with it.
CNED with 3. Finesse left alone in a clutch. Spike not in hand.
And now if I'm Navi, I want Zippon to take first contact so CNED can end up, if Finesse gets close to them, using that showstopper and trying to solidify the round. Probably not going to come to that, though.
Finesse creeping his way around. Quietly, but with intent.
That jump spot just goes to where we just cleared with the flash.
First couple shots not landing.
Oh!
Showstopper, and it lands on the kill. CNED with 4, Navi on the board.
Pretty critical use there. Hey! Evil Geniuses fam in the house. That's the next game coming up against DRX. Papa Com and Mama Com.
Given this series, I'm not ready to get there yet.
No, not even close.
I want to stay here.
But that is sending a team to playoffs, which is crazy. Again, just the difference between what this matchup is right now. It's an opening match. Neither team ready to send their ticket up into playoffs.
Oh, aggression!
Normally that's definitely punishing Zippon there, but he's ahead of the stun.
Victor not able to find the space.
Defensively, in order to counter that sort of idea, you have to do a lot of creative stuff by peeking a main, that sort of idea. But there's a bunch of straight up fights.
Fight was often lost. Crashing going to be able not to see net investing the secrets to flash on the other side of the wall. He's gone rogue. He's going solo, and he's finding value.
1 HP for a moment with that decay.
Talk about putting the team on your back. At least in this round.
And he keeps it to a 3v3 with that kill on the Angel, and also that makes it difficult because he could have easily had smokes up at this point. Now it unlocks some key tools from NRG in their strat book. They can dry walk, they can pop smokes and walk behind them, and it will be the dry walk choice.
Sam, Heaven. Oh,
What?
What on earth was that?
I'm sorry, what?
That one's ending up on Reddit. Xiao's going to be left in this 1v3 situation where both Crashies and Finesse are weak. But he's so far away, he's not even going to try. I need to go back to this Crashies play. Because, as you know, not all kills are created equal, right? That kill stabilized the round, right? Victor had just used his, had just satcheled up forward. He didn't find any space. He didn't find any value. He single-handedly makes a play to get things back to 3, as you said.
Yeah. Zipana ends CNED falling in that instance, where they had advantage. And this is a reset round slightly for Navi. Zipana and CNED somehow have 4K and 3.8 respectively, so you're definitely going to see another one of those weird hero rifle buys. Because of the way how these rounds have played out, and the weapons have been saved. That pit's still not used from Sugetsu, by the way. Which, out of that timeout, I was really thinking was going to be considered. This moment right here is what you're talking about. Popping the Seekers, then insta-flashing through. That's a double peek that just gets sprayed down. And Angel knows. We can't be letting Finesse do that.
Not like that. Attack off in the hands of Artis, and he gets 2.
Kills are just coming in 2s. And the round's over. Trailblazer in, they spot the player. Second smoke, not available for some. He smoked off Mail, so there's room for Sugetsu to have some damage done. They're waiting for that to come up. Instead, it looks like he recalled it.
Interesting choice. Instead, they flash and go up towards Heaven, clear that out while Artis is holding the line, holding the space.
And to go back to that initial double kill out of Artis, the reason he goes for that peek is he's expecting Navi to continue to swing based off of what success they had after Victor went for that double satchel last time. Just swinging in front of the sun, swinging in front of the flash, trying to take a 2v1. Artis just posts up instead, and that's why you can't do that. Instant punish in the worst of ways.
Blinded.
This patience from NRG is outrageous. He's waiting for things to go. Zipan, who's here by himself, managing to take down Crashies, but that's all it is. Spike should be secured.
They just took the site with 2 players. Finesse, maybe threw a molly. Sam is on the other side of the map here.
Alarm bot out.
The dude is in mid.
Navi once again in a position where they're just going to try to save the weapons that they have. A Phantom in the hands of Xiao, Bulldog for Sugetsu. You can see the defenses that they've put up around them. The alarm bot up in Heaven, the turret to make sure no one's pushing spawn. Their objective is very clear here, preserve what they have.
Crazy part about this too is the switch from Navi to put one of Sugetsu or Xiao. Sugetsu usually is going to play it always in mid or B. But to swap Xiao onto the A side is going to enable Victor to again go for double satchels there. So every single little thing that is finding success here for NRG is setting them up for the next round even still. If I'm NRG, I continue to keep the pressure up on that A side.
Superimposed upon one another. What can you really do? 6-round lead for NRG. And again, the potential of another streak. Maybe not to the same degree, but the makings are all there. Navi are on a light buy. 2 sheriffs and then rifles, but certainly not full strength, not full force.
Oh, somebody did buy up a rifle. It's Angel. And that one.
There's one of the rifles. You've got
it's Sugetsu who falls. Remember, I keep talking about how he needs to not get punished in this middle. 3 times he's already dead at the beginning of the round.
CNED showing up here and picking up the weapon that was dropped. Angel trying to deal with 2 members, dashing across the screen, flying across his face, and Victor the first to fall.
Oh, he's paranoid. No.
He has no idea. Whoa, he has no idea what to play from Angel.
A follow-up flash, too. He could swing even further.
Houdiniing his way through that. But Finesse trading the kill back. And the spike's out. He's going to try to find his way through, but I don't think he's expecting Zip-On behind him.
Angel TP'd across, too.
Surprise, it's a gift.
Angel's in time. Star's coming in right now. He needs to obscure his position until he can get a guaranteed kill. No more TPs to get out either.
And remember, he did this. He's gotten them almost here by himself.
Oh, he gets out to play with Zip-On instead. Not using the element of surprise, knowing he TP'd there earlier. They should be aware. Is there a recall?
Crashies.
Come on. Woo. It's the NRG formula right there. I mean, they just continue to walk until there's a gap, until there's some sort of information found. And that's how you find timings. If you don't explore as much as you can, you don't know whether you can take that shot. They need this. I mean, Zip-On needs to pull out a 1v2 here to keep them in the game.
Which feels like such a big ask, given the spike has been planted for a little while. There's still a good bit of utility on the side of NRG. Flash being used there. Zip-On trading back with one of his own, and Sam swings through and greets him. NRG at 8. And what a stomp this has become.
8-1. And we're in a situation again where Navi are using their second timeout in the first half.
One enemy remaining.
I mean, they need to win out.
Yeah.
Even whether or not this comp, whether you have a discussion about whether this comp is attack-sided or not, whether split is still defender-sided, it doesn't matter. This half starts to become untenable with any further rounds from NRG.
Doombros understanding the gravity of the situation, invests the last time out, as you mentioned.
Opting to leave his team to discuss here. Happy with it, what Angel's discussing with his teammates. But there's more than just strategy here. It's form for everybody. They're getting picked apart. I'm specifically thinking of Sugetsu in mid right now.
Yeah.
But there's many things to pull out if you're NRG. That A main pressure that they went for, the double satchel up ramp, flipping it with Artis opping on the angle. A surprise attack side out, by the way. He hasn't gone back to that since that round.
No, but he instilled the fear in Navi. You see it on the scoreboard. You mentioned form. There's a lot to be addressed here. You talked about Sugetsu and the fact that he continues to get picked. CNET has 4 kills. All 4 of them came in one round.
Yep.
He struggled before then and since.
And he was the key factor in why they were at this position, why they're able to min map 2.
Yep.
Is that raise on Lotus. And while we said it looks comfortable, historically CNET has more struggled on the off-jet rolls. Not that he's been awful on the raise by any means, but Split is where those jets who play and try to play that raise end up getting exposed when they're not completely formidable at the agent.
Victor picking up the orb. Artist with the dash proc, waiting to pounce. Backing on up instead. Jump spots. No headbound. Oh, you went a bit too far there.
Good re-clear from Navi. Finally some success. And I like this. Don't try to challenge the early aggression.
Can't use that yet.
Instead, opt to just go for re-clears.
That first flash and NRG finding, again, more room across the middle of the map. This time CNET. But
Finally.
punching back, yeah.
Some success in the round. And again, though, can't let this fall apart. They put themselves in a good position, need to punch their ticket further. It's only the second round that they're in position to win right now.
Navi are a little bit ahead of this, too. It's been a very slow round from NRG. And I wonder how much of that's giving Navi room to breathe and adjust.
One enemy remaining.
It's all falling onto Sam in this 1v3, and he can't convert. Zip-On cleans it up, and that's a second round for Navi.
Keep 3 players up, keep all the ults online too. And Navi really haven't been focused on those. I think Xiao and Sugetsu have had their ult for, what, 4 rounds or so, more than that. Maybe the majority of this half at this point.
Yeah,
Navi have already used the 2 timeouts. You're not giving much room for Doom Bros in the second half at all
Enemy remaining.
Spike down.
to be a
B.
factor.
I think that's it.
We'll see what the adjustment is on the other side of this timeout. Again, remember for NRG, that last round was very cautious.
Yeah.
Given that they had double duelists, they explored garage, they didn't fully pounce, even knowing that CNED was there with the Roomba, so they knew he was close. They got some space mid, and they had a split, and they chose not to burst out towards that. They were very careful. You want to hear what the adaptation is?
Y'all know what's coming. Okay, timer ticks. Let's go.
Ah, come on, man. Don't text us like that.
I'm just saying, that thing was stuck on 28.
That made you nervous a little bit. All good. 6-round lead for NRG. On the other side of this timeout, again, what are the adjustments? You've got Blades for Artis. You can't imagine he'll use that. But Victor with the showstopper. And it's a spread look from NRG. Look at how far back they still have 2 members in spawn.
They dodged the flash. See if there's another approach. The pit finally invested. Xiao with a deep alarm bot too to help out Sugetsu before he rotates off.
And Victor's going to confirm where it is. That's going to have him rotate off. But as you're saying, Navi now creeping back towards B.
Okay, so this setup allows them to give up mid. But you're right. If the hit doesn't come through middle, it's going to be towards B. They've got 3 players ready to receive.
Flash is traded. These last 2 rounds have genuinely felt like a chess match.
Moving the pieces on the board. Zipon clears out mid, which is a key tell. 50 seconds right now. Crash is going to dog through. And with the wall late. That's a tool that both teams using right now. And the Seekers pop to actually expose the split coming in at the same time. But is that too much pressure?
You mentioned mid was open, and that's where the spike is. Got a lot of space mid. They're contacting out onto the side. Angel.
Oh gosh, oh gosh. Finesse!
No,
Where are you looking?
Oh my goodness! Finesse equalizes! Stabilizes, and Victor from up top with the ult gets another!
Just a ridiculous moment. Between the 2 leaders, and Angel's got to be kicking himself.
Planted.
That kill was available, but the flash gets full blind.
2 wise men to 2 blind mice. Sugetsu and Xiao having to try to make a play out of this, and they cannot. Finesse with 3 on the round.
I mean, I've got to say, Finesse is playing out of his mind. In comparison to the Americas split that he had, it was rough, very rough. And yeah, at times he was a key factor in some of those rounds again, but it's bursts. Overall, the consistency's not been there from Finesse. Today, that's a different story.
Yeah, agreed.
Xiao going for another save. I mean, 11 round played, no kills, 7 deaths.
Definitely not what you expect out of a player of his caliber.
This is crazy, the full flash, and he walks in front.
It's like finding a gift.
And that's the reason why that wall is there, by the way, because he wants to lurk all the way and take that 1v1 against Angel if it shows itself.
Different setup here. Remember in the previous round, it was a late wall out from Finesse. This time, early investment towards A.
Mostly been using this all game. Got so many tools, man. Xiao's still not finding ways to find this lockdown. He's got to. It's round 12. He's got to find a way. And his teammates can't give up the site before he gets there. Again, that's the difficulty with this KJ. It's so hard to find useful lockdowns on defense. On attack, it's a different story. On defense, though, it is rough.
In a lot of ways, the slowing down of the attack side from NRG feels to me like they're putting the game, the ball, so to speak, in Finesse's hands. In his mid-round calling, in reading the map, reading Navi.
I mean, you just saw exactly that. And by the way, it's not like these 2 IGLs know the ins and outs of how they call, like we know between the battle from Finesse and Sadak.
Sure,
No,
sure.
These 2 guys have only played against each other once here in Valorant.
I've got your trail.
And it's a classic Finesse fake. Seekers, Cosmic Divide, they walk up mid. Is Angel aware? Is he calling out the possibility?
There are 3 here. A refresh smoke. Sugetsu with a lot to do on the other side of the sword, manages to get around the corner just in the nick of time.
Lockdown used, finally Shout.
They're pushing into it anyway. Angel had nowhere to go. Artist on one side, Crashies on the other, and Sugetsu creeping his way forward at just the right time.
And there, oh, the nade broke it, last second.
13 seconds left, Spike's still not planted. Tom finally getting it down. Pays for it with his life though. Blades for Artist. Chooses to go with the bullets instead. Turns the flash, lands a shot! Both of them fall. And a 10-2 half for NRG.
That late half timeout from Chet, finding full success, and it's the most dominant half of the series. Crazy to see Shao of all people 0-8, but that's the problem with playing Killjoy in this map. That's the problem with playing off-roll on it too.
One enemy remaining.
It's not as active. And now at this point playing 3 different roles throughout this season.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. The questions are whether or not the bus can go into reverse. Because right now it's just a full, I mean, all the way to Struggle City, as you said.
Yep.
Down 8. Now they're on their attacking side. You question what kind of plans they have set to try to bring this thing back.
And some of the benefits that they would have had in this comp not realized on that defensive side, right? You can't really slow down a defensive side from the 2 double duelists. It's completely different now. All they have to do is convert 3 rounds. On attack side with this comp, when they have double controller and a sentinel in the KJ from Shao, that's asking a lot.
You see the setup trap already. Finesse is jump spotting. Artist is on the other side of ropes. Unexpected there.
Bombot in, and it gets broken before it spots the cross from Artist. This smoke needs to be refreshed, otherwise Victor's entering the fight too.
They are all here. They've all joined, and it's a 1-for-1.
With
Artist
Victor showing himself, they might have a gap here, a timing towards B. Obviously, Som could be there jump spotting anything like that, and they did not spot him. They're gonna have to take their time, but we see there is a gap. Can they find it? What?
Yep. Seems like they can. Woo. Victor not finding anything. CNED with 2. Finesse trying to find some success here, and all he's finding is damage taken.
How is that guy alive?
Planted.
He's just getting pounded right there.
Crashies healthy, but turd in his face. Finesse not nearly as fortunate
Last player standing.
as he falls.
It's like every second these NRG players peak, they're getting taken out. That first shot from CNED, very, very crazy to me. And that's the start. Pistol round. And they're 4 for 6 on those. Very, very important rounds. Nasty.
I'm still here, amigo.
Saddle up, Cowboy. We may be in for a good second half. But it's just 1 round. And again, you mentioned it, Balla. For as close as NRG are, they just need to win 3. Navi's road to redemption is much longer.
I mean, speaking of time, NRG's got it all. And they've already won Thrifty in this series. Much less weaponry than they had that last time, though. It was stingers, that sort of thing. Sheriff's also invested. Right now, what they've bought indicates they're trying to get damage done. Navi doing the best NRG impression that they can, though. Dry walking up mid, no util used.
Victor with the nade, nothing spotted yet. That'll confirm things.
Alarm about to clear the smoke, too. Nade not used from Victor.
But Finesse does fall. And there's just really nothing that they can do to fight back. It was a flawless round from NRG.
Seems like those anti-ecos are constantly coming through as Prime Gaming flawlesses for Navi.
Yeah.
Over and over.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
But again, we've talked about it a lot. They still have not converted a bonus despite having 3 attempts. This will be their 4th. And it's all the more important here. They need to get that same sort of streak going. I'm really curious how the KJ is playing here. Using the turret to spot whether Artist is going to peek out. And Artist is very aware of that position. They use a recall smoke to try to get it down, but Angel taking down Sama. Artist has given up that space.
It's a filthy shot, too.
Oh, dinked as well. instantly. Only missed out. They're going to re-clear. Look, Finesse is already on the hunt. 3 players from Navi able to receive.
And it's just, oh, it's a bit delayed. But Finesse punching back with 2. Paranoia in his face to spam through. It's not going to find anything.
And even if Finesse truly did fall back there, that paranoia still would have been a problem for him. Angel punches it through. And up in that close range, there's no way.
Spike planted.
Up and down he goes into the next round.
There we go. Hey, first bonus converted. That is finally going through Navi. They simply, if they won some of those bonuses, I mean, some of those maps would have been clean.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might have been looking at them winning a sense very easily and looking like they stomped NRG instead.
Spike's here.
And you could have been looking at a very easy Lotus. At least to make that comeback in the initial spring of things.
That's just not nearly as fun, though, is it? Victor with the judge, no armor. Full rifles for Navi.
And remember, when Navi was in this position in the last half,
I don't think they've checked him.
they were buying up, you know, hero rifles here and there. NRG's not buying anything except this occasional judge here. And definitely a lot of sheriffs. They're trying to get that econ rolling, specifically Artis. He's got enough money for an op next round. So it's much harder for them to convert these eco rounds, but it's not a focus of NRG's game plans. Outside of Stinger meta, they really haven't made it a focus, even back to the optic core. Yes, their sheriffs are very dangerous, but you're asking a lot still, given how good Navi have been on those anti-ecos.
A little damage.
Victor's got a pocket.
And he's been there this entire time. The Trailblazer did not spot him. It was cleared by Crashies.
He's just landed a molly on him. No.
He's still, I mean, he's just sitting there.
I mean, if they come from a heaven, it's not going to be a problem.
Oh, and if they just clean out everyone else on his team before he even gets a chance, it won't be either. And that seems to be the case.
Last player standing.
Forgot to kill the classic from that far away. 2 bullets left with the Sheriff. Neither fired off. And another round for Navi.
I can't believe you pulled the classic to get the spike plant kill, but there's no way you expect him there after all of that. Again, very good anti-eco from Navi. Those are the sort of things that you really have to be good at if you're going to start a comeback from 10-2. I wouldn't even consider it started at this point. Just converting the bonus, that's not going to be enough. Normally a 4-round streak like that would put you right back in contention, but still, this gap, this deficit's so large. Up for Artis though, and he's in middle. Nobody there.
He's taking space though. He's creeping up.
Scout destroyed.
About to find out real soon that that's not where the play is.
Oh
Victor
God,
once.
oh God. Ah, no, not
Oh, have
again.
we seen this twice? And now he's got the showstopper. Victor with a 3rd. In the face of the flash, satcheling to get away, not able to survive. But what a round from NRG.
That's twice he hides in a pocket. And that's twice they go for double dive. Angel and CNED together. Without having the real information. Without going into a smoke, nothing like that. They don't have the same tools. If you want to double dive like that, which has been a key point for them all year,
Yep.
you want CNED on Jet. This raised double dive is so dangerous. Either way, that's not the end of the world for Navi, but NRG inch ever closer now. Only 2 rounds needed.
Navi have 4 ults here. Early pit out from Finesse.
I wouldn't be surprised to see instant flash and CNED diving in with the showstopper, but they're not going for it.
And middle map is lost. NRG sent both their duelists up there already.
And something that all the other teams, when there's a single sky on this, they're sending 1 person on the other side of the map and 4 on the other.
Zipan has 2 flashes right now. What a tense moment. Will they expect them? There's the flash to turn. Artis dashes away, leaving Victor as the trap.
Another pocket.
It's been sprung. Do they take the bait?
There's no way.
Victor, patient. The flash doesn't hit. And they've crept right by.
Here comes the KJ ult finally. On the attack side, it's up.
Victor
It's
with the
still
chance.
up from Finesse. He's not biting. He's not biting at all. He thinks it's a fake.
I've got your trail.
CNED, the first to fall. ECC gets to.
Oh!
Concerned about the other side of the map, while NRG get everything that they want. They establish control, they get detained.
Spike down.
Victor from up in heaven with 85 HP finds another.
Remaining.
And things have gone horribly askew.
Can he get the spike?
Nothing found. NRG series point.
Match point.
3 rounds with Victor in the back lines finding immense value. They're Navi pivoting with no map control. Off of the A hit at the beginning of the round, they see that pit up not to go for a push through, despite all their coins being invested towards that side. Every single player, every single pawn. And that hurts them so much. They don't recognize that Artis is opping. They don't recognize where Victor could be played.
And now Navi find themselves in check. What is the response?
6 attempts here from NRG.
Artis looking for an angle. Holding the line with that op with Crashies close by. Meanwhile, all of Navi are mid. Finesse is here. Gets one, gets away.
It's falling apart for NRG, or for Navi.
Almost fell apart for Finesse there.
It's completely falling apart. Angel consistently not checking corners. And a lot of times it's NRG with a lot of misdirection. There again, Victor with the nade. He's the guy who's been tucking in cubbies. All right, so they see the nade comes from Mail, they back off.
Sam is in a position to, really spoil this. It's Xiao with the spike, and he's by himself.
He's been satcheled up there, by the way. And again, you've seen Victor. You don't think this position is possible.
Right.
I'm not sure if they've seen Artis, but knowing he has an op, there's no way they put him up there. CNED with a showstopper. He's going to be the entry here against Sam.
30
Oh!
seconds left.
He doesn't see him at all.
Oh, the gravity wall keeps him back. There it is. They've got them all lined up. It's a 3v2. Xiao and Sugetsu find themselves onto the site with the spike. Reposition, just a temporary delay.
He has to be safe there with the threat of losing this series right now.
Can they get the pieces in the right place? Crashies from up top with a flash. Artis dropping down. It's a spam through the box. Xiao's so weak. Sugetsu falls. It's all onto Xiao. 18 HP left. Checkmate. NRG take down Navi.